Zen Stories for Sleep Vertical Bar. The Willow's Whisper. Finding Peace in Uncertainty Section 1. The Willow Tree's Lesson. A young monk learns flexibility from a willow tree during a fierce storm. Hey guys, tonight we're going to explore some timeless Zen stories that have helped people find peace and relaxation for centuries. If your mind's been racing all day, these tales might gently pull you back to the stillness waiting within. You might imagine the sound of soft wind in the trees, or the hush of a quiet temple garden, where even the air seems to breathe calmly. In our busy lives, it's easy to forget that calm isn't out there. It's already yours to uncover. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. I love seeing our little Zen circles spread across the world. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You sit beneath a willow tree at the edge of a quiet pond. The branches sway gently in the breeze, their thin green fingers trailing in the water. The air smells sweet and earthy after a passing rainstorm. You can almost hear the earth exhale as if it too is relieved the storm has passed. But there's still a restlessness inside you, like a current tugging just beneath the surface. Maybe today didn't go as planned. Or maybe your thoughts just won't stop circling, tugging you in a dozen directions at once. A Zen monk appears in your mind's eye. A gentle figure dressed in simple robes, carrying nothing but a staff. He smiles softly, as though he knows what's been on your mind all along. "Come," he says, gesturing to the willow. "Let me tell you what this tree taught me once when I too was full of worry." Long ago, in a mountain temple, there was a young novice named Hiroshi. He worked hard every day fetching water, sweeping the stone paths, tending the fire. But inside, Hiroshi was stiff with anxiety. He feared doing something wrong, feared falling short of the expectations the elder monks seemed to set. One afternoon, as thunderclouds gathered, the abbot called Hiroshi to his side. "Walk with me," the old man said. "The storm is coming." They strolled to the edge of the temple grounds, where a willow tree grew near a rushing stream. The wind had begun to howl. "Tell me," said the abbot, pointing to the willow, "what do you see?" "I see a tree," Hiroshi replied, uncertain. "Yes, but watch closely." A sudden gust tore through the valley. The willow bent low, its branches nearly sweeping the ground. Hiroshi flinched, expecting the tree to snap, but when the wind eased, the willow stood upright again, unharmed. "Do you understand?" asked the abbot. Hiroshi shook his head. "The willow does not resist," the abbot said softly. "It bends. It flows with the storm. That is why it survives, while the rigid pine often cracks under pressure." Hiroshi stared at the tree. He realized how tightly he held his own body, shoulders stiff, fists clenched, breath shallow. "You must learn to bend," the abbot continued. "Your fear makes you rigid. Life's winds will come and go, but if you can sway, like the willow, you will not break." That night, Hiroshi lay in his futon, listening to the rain drumming on the roof. He let his breath deepen, let his muscles soften. As he drifted toward sleep, he imagined himself swaying like the willow, rooted yet supple. And for the first time in weeks, he felt the knots inside him loosen. You picture the monk's face now, the way his eyes crinkled in kindness as he shared this story. Perhaps he whispers, "You can try it too." Feel your shoulders soften. Feel your jaw unclench. Let the winds of thought pass through you. You don't have to hold them so tightly. You listen to the breeze outside your own window. It rustles the leaves gently, like the willow tree bowing to the night. The sound feels like nature's own lullaby, doesn't it? Zen masters might ask. What happens when you stop resisting the storms in your mind? Would the thoughts pass more quickly if you didn't fight them? As you ponder this, the monk's voice fades into the hush of the evening, leaving you with a simple instruction. Be the willow. You don't have to be strong in the way you thought. Strength is in yielding. You sit in this quiet awareness, the air heavy with peace. And now we let this story ripple gently into the next. Section 2. The Tea Master's Calm. A nervous samurai discovers inner stillness through a tea ceremony. The air feels softer now, as though the world itself has exhaled with you. The willow still sways in your mind's eye, its green fingers brushing the water's surface. And somewhere beyond that quiet pond, the monk's voice returns warm and steady. You see, he says gently, the willow taught Hiroshi how to yield to life's storms. But there are other ways to find peace, even in the heat of uncertainty. Let me tell you about a samurai who learned calm in the most unlikely place over a simple cup of tea. It was long ago in a small village nestled between misty hills. A wandering samurai named Takeshi arrived at a humble tea house late one evening. He had been traveling for days, his armor dusty, his sword heavy on his hip. Though outwardly strong, his mind was full of restless thoughts. A duel awaited him at dawn, a matter of honor that weighed heavily on his heart. Inside the tea house, a frail old man greeted him with a bow. "Welcome," the tea master whispered. "Please rest here a while." Takeshi hesitated. "I don't have time to rest. My mind must stay sharp for tomorrow." "Ah," the tea master murmured. "Then you must drink tea." Reluctantly, Takeshi sat. He watched as the old man moved gracefully about the small room, each gesture deliberate, each breath slow and steady. The water boiled softly, the sound like a gentle stream over stones. The tea leaves unfurled in the pot like tiny green dancers. Takeshi found himself leaning forward, drawn in despite himself. "Tell me, samurai," the tea master said as he poured the steaming liquid into a simple clay cup. "How do you hold your sword?" "With strength," Takeshi replied. "And your breath?" "Fast," Takeshi admitted. "It races when I imagine the fight." The tea master handed him the cup. "Then hold this tea as you would hold your breath, not too tight, not too loose." Takeshi wrapped his fingers around the warm clay. He inhaled the delicate aroma, earthy, calming, alive. "Take one sip," the tea master instructed, "but do so as if it were your first and last." The samurai obeyed. The tea touched his tongue, bitter and sweet all at once. His shoulders dropped slightly. Now the tea master said, "You are ready." "Ready for what?" "For whatever comes." That night, Takeshi slept more soundly than he had in years. When the duel came at dawn, his hand was steady, his mind clear. You listen now, imagining the steam curling from that little clay cup. It reminds you of your own breath, how it rises, how it falls. Can you feel it now? Cool air entering, warm air leaving. The monk's voice lowers, almost a whisper. You too can hold your breath like that teacup. Not too tight, not too loose. Perhaps there's a storm in your own life, an uncertain choice, a restless thought, a lingering fear. You don't have to resolve it all tonight. For now, just sip the tea of this moment. Let it warm you from within. Zen monks sometimes spend hours preparing tea, not to perfect the drink, but to perfect their attention. Every motion, pouring water, lifting the cup, bringing it to the lips, is a chance to return to the here and now. What would happen if you treated your evening the same way? Could folding a blanket, brushing your teeth, or even lying down feel like a quiet ceremony? Outside your window, the night deepens. A breeze stirs the curtains. In the distance, you hear the faint sound of a bird settling into its nest. The tea master's lesson lingers, not too tight, not too loose. This is the way to meet life as it comes. You feel your own grip on the day, loosening like fingers unclenching after holding too much for too long. And in that space, something soft and peaceful begins to grow. The monk smiles faintly as he fades back into the darkness. You're learning already, he whispers. Now let us journey further. To the sand and the sea. Section 3. Footprints in the sand. A Zen master teaches acceptance by watching waves erase his path. The monk's voice lingers like a soft wind as you follow him now. Not on stone paths or into a tea house, but down toward the shore where the waves lap against the sand. You've bent like the willow, he murmurs, and sipped tea like the samurai. But what happens when the ground beneath you feels uncertain, shifting like sand beneath your feet? Let me tell you about the footprints in the sea. It was a misty morning when Master Daiichi walked along the beach. The tide was low, and the wet sand gleamed like polished bronze. He left a trail of footprints behind him, each mark clear and deep. A young student followed at a distance, watching quietly as the old man walked. The student's heart was troubled, weighed down by regret over mistakes he could not undo. When Daiichi paused and turned, he noticed the student's furrowed brow. "You carry a heavy burden," the master said. "I cannot forgive myself," the student whispered. "Every step I take, I see the trail of my failures behind me. I fear others see it too." Daiichi smiled softly. "Watch." As the waves rolled in, white foam reached for the sand. The water touched Daiichi's footprints and began to wash them away. One by one, the deep marks softened, then vanished completely. "You see, Daiichi said the ocean does not cling to your steps. Why should you?" The student watched in silence. As the next wave came, it wiped the sand clean, a blank canvas under the morning sun. Life, Daiichi continued, is like this beach. The past cannot hold you unless you choose to stand still and stare at the footprints. For a moment, the student felt a lightness, as though the ocean itself had entered his chest, carrying away the heaviness inside. You listen now to the hush of imaginary waves lapping against a distant shore. Can you feel it? That soft pull, the rhythm of rise and fall, like your own breath coming and going. Zen masters often compare thoughts to waves. They arise, they crest, they dissolve. You can stand still and let them wash over you, or you can step forward, letting the water smooth the path behind. What would happen if you allowed the day's mistakes to fade like footprints in the sand? Could you forgive yourself enough to sleep a little lighter tonight? You picture the waves cool and silver in the moonlight. They seem to whisper, nothing is permanent, not even regret. Perhaps in this moment, you can let go just enough. Enough to feel the bed beneath you as an anchor. Enough to let your shoulders drop a little more deeply into the mattress. The monk's voice returns, hushed but steady. You do not need to hold your story so tightly. Let the tide take what no longer serves you. Trust that tomorrow's beach will be smooth and new. Outside, a faint breeze stirs the night air. A car passes in the distance, its sound fading like the waves' retreat. You are here, breathing. The present moment holds you gently, like warm sand cradling your feet. Some monks practice kinhin, a slow meditative walk, where each step is deliberate, almost like a prayer. They feel the earth beneath their feet with every movement. What if you imagined your own breath as such a step, slow, soft, intentional? In this quiet, you might ask yourself, what if my mind were like this beach? Can I let the tide clear the marks of the day? And as the last imaginary wave pulls back, leaving the sand smooth and unbroken, you feel a whisper of peace bloom in your chest. Come, the monk says gently, his robes brushing against the air like falling petals. Let us step from the beach into the garden. And so you follow the sound of the waves fading behind you. Section 4. The Silent Garden. Lessons on Patience and Trust. As a gardener waits for unseen roots to grow, the sound of the waves fades, replaced by the soft crunch of gravel beneath your feet. You are walking now through a narrow stone path, lanterns glowing dimly along the edges. The air smells of damp earth and blossoms. Somewhere in the distance, a single bell chimes low and soothing. The monk leads you into a walled Zen garden, its gates creaking open as if welcoming you home. Inside, the world feels still. There are no birds, no wind, only the quiet hum of your own breath. Here in this garden, the monk whispers, "Patience is everything." The gardener plants seeds and waits. For a long time, nothing appears. The soil looks empty, but beneath the surface, life is already stirring. You pause by a small pond, the surface smooth as glass. Tiny ripples form where a single leaf touches the water. Long ago, the monk says there was a young apprentice who wanted to grow a bamboo grove. Every morning, he watered the soil and checked for signs of growth. Days passed, then weeks, then months. Nothing sprouted. He grew frustrated, certain he had failed. "I've wasted my time," he told his master. But the master only smiled. "Bamboo waits," he said. "For years it grows roots unseen, deep and strong. Then, in a single season, it will shoot upward tall and unshakable." The apprentice returned to his work, tending the soil with quiet faith. One spring morning, tender green shoots broke the surface. By the end of that summer, the grove swayed high above his head. You breathe deeply now, imagining the bamboo, strong yet hollow, swaying gently in the breeze. Maybe you too have been planting seeds in your own life, a habit you're nurturing, a dream you've dared to begin, or simply a desire for more peace in your heart. Zen teaches us that unseen roots matter just as much as what blooms above ground. Could it be that all your efforts, though invisible now, are already taking hold beneath the surface? The monk bends near a tiny sapling in the garden. His fingers brush the tender leaves. "Not all growth is loud," he says softly. "The strongest roots grow in silence." You feel this truth settle in your body. Your breath deepens. The tightness in your chest loosens, as if unseen roots within you are also taking hold quietly, anchoring you. The earth of this moment. Zen monks often practice mokuso, sitting quietly and imagining their breath sinking deep into the ground like roots. They don't strive for stillness. They let it arrive on its own. Perhaps you can try now. Feel the weight of your body sinking into the bed. Imagine invisible roots spreading out beneath you, holding you steady in this gentle night. What would happen if you stopped searching for proof of growth and trusted that it was happening anyway? The monk smiles faintly, his eyes reflecting the garden lanterns. "You are growing even now," he says. "And when the time is right, you too will rise." The air around you feels warmer somehow, cradling you like a soft blanket. Outside your window, a tree branch scratches lightly against the glass, a small reminder that even in darkness, life is always moving. The monk rises slowly, his robes whispering across the gravel. "Come," he says. "Let us visit the river. There is something you must see there." You stand and follow, leaving the garden behind, as the gates close gently. The sound of trickling water grows louder, carrying you into the next part of the journey. Section 5. The Lantern on the River. A parable of letting go by releasing lanterns into the night water. The sound of water grows clearer as you step out of the garden. The monk leads you down a winding path where fireflies blink softly in the night air. The stones are cool beneath your feet, and the air carries the faint scent of river reeds and wood smoke. As the path opens, you see a wide, slow-moving river, its surface shimmering with the glow of dozens of paper lanterns drifting downstream. Each lantern carries a small flame, flickering like a heartbeat in the darkness. The monk gestures toward the riverbank, where a woman kneels, her hands folded in quiet prayer. Beside her is a basket filled with unlit lanterns. Long ago, the monk begins softly, this river was the setting for a festival of remembrance. Each year, villagers gathered to release lanterns into the water, sending their worries, regrets, and prayers into the current. He pauses, kneeling beside the woman. One year, a woman came carrying a heavy heart. Her husband had left for war and never returned. Each day she carried her grief like a stone in her chest. That night, she knelt here just as you see her now, and whispered her sorrow into the flame of her lantern. As she set it on the water, something inside her shifted. The river accepted her pain, carrying it away into the darkness. For the first time in years, she felt light enough to stand tall again. You watch as the woman releases her lantern, its small light joining the others as they float gently downstream. The sight is almost hypnotic, tiny stars drifting across a black canvas. The monk looks at you kindly. You too can let something go tonight. He hands you a lantern. Its paper walls are delicate warm against your palms. Close your eyes, he says. What would you place inside this lantern? A worry, a regret? A memory that feels too heavy to carry any longer. You inhale deeply, feeling the weight of the day settle in your chest. Perhaps there is an old mistake, an anxious thought, a lingering fear that you can offer to the river now. Zen masters often say that holding on is like clutching a burning coal. It only hurts you. With your next exhale, you imagine placing that coal gently into the lantern, then releasing it onto the water. The little flame flickers, but stays steady, carrying your burden away. You watch as it joins the slow procession of lights drifting downstream. One by one, the lanterns grow smaller, their glow fading into the night. A breeze stirs cool against your face. You feel lighter somehow, as if the river carried away not just the lantern, but a piece of your tension too. The monk's voice is barely above a whisper now. Life flows whether we resist or release. The river teaches us that nothing stays in our hands forever. Even pain drifts away if we let it. Outside your window, you can almost hear the echo of water lapping softly at the riverbank. Maybe it's just the hum of the night air. Or maybe deep down, your heart is beginning to quiet. Zen monks sometimes practice nagare, which means flowing. They remind themselves that thoughts and feelings are like water, constantly moving, never fixed. What would happen if you trusted this flow? Could you allow your mind to drift tonight without trying to steer it? The monk stands now, brushing his palms together. His face is serene, the faint glow of lantern light reflected in his eyes. You are learning to release, he says gently. Now it is time to step into the quiet of an empty room. As you follow him away from the river, the glow of the lanterns lingers in your vision like tiny embers floating in the night sky. Section 6. The Empty Room. A monk discovers that emptiness holds the key to peace and creativity. You leave the river behind its lanterns now. Distant specks of light flickering like stars swallowed by the horizon. The path narrows, lined with smooth stones, and soon you reach a simple wooden door. The monk slides it open with a soft creak. Inside is an empty room. No chairs, no tables. Just a wide tatami mat and pale walls that seem to hum faintly with quiet energy. A single candle flickers in one corner, its light casting long, gentle shadows. Come in, the monk says. Sit here. Do not fear the emptiness. You step inside, and as the door closes, the silence deepens. It's not the kind of silence that feels heavy or awkward. It's the kind that wraps around you like a warm, invisible blanket. The monk lowers himself onto the mat and folds his hands in his lap. You follow, noticing how the floor feels firm but forgiving beneath you. Long ago, the monk says softly, a scholar came to a Zen master seeking wisdom. His mind was full of questions and theories. He spoke rapidly, eager to show what he knew. The master poured tea as the scholar spoke. When the cup was full, the master kept pouring. Hot tea spilled over the rim and onto the scholar's hand. Stop! The scholar cried. The cup is full! The master smiled. Yes, and so is your mind. How can I teach you unless you first empty your cup? You imagine the tea overflowing the scholar's startled face and the calm, steady gaze of the Zen master. Your mind, the monk says now, is like that cup. It has carried so much today, thoughts, worries, plans, memories. Perhaps now you can let it empty for a while. You take a deep breath, feeling the air move in and out. As you exhale, you imagine your thoughts spilling gently out of your mind, like tea from an overfilled cup. Zen teaches that emptiness is not nothingness, it is space. Space for peace to enter. Space for clarity to grow. What if this empty room were your mind? No clutter, no noise. Just a quiet space where you can rest. The monk closes his eyes and begins to hum a soft tone, low and soothing, like the murmur of a distant river. You notice your shoulders sinking lower, your breath slows. The candle's flame flickers in rhythm with your heartbeat. Zen monks sometimes sit in zazen, facing a blank wall for hours, simply observing their thoughts without clinging to them. They say that in the empty room of the mind, the most profound truths appear. You wonder, what might I see if I stopped filling the space with noise? The monk opens his eyes and smiles faintly. There is nothing you must do now. No one you must be. Simply sit. That is enough. You feel the truth of his words settle deep into your bones. For the first time today, perhaps the first time all week, you are not striving, not planning. Just here. Outside, the night air stirs softly. You hear the faint rustle of leaves as if even the trees are breathing slowly, deliberately. Emptiness is the mother of possibility, the monk whispers. In this space, you can hear the quiet voice of your own heart. And in that quiet, you begin to notice a sense of lightness, like a window opening in a stuffy room. The monk rises, his movements unhurried, graceful as falling petals. Come, he says. There is one more place we must visit tonight, a place where even the smallest creature teaches us stillness. You follow him out of the empty room, stepping into the cool night. The stars overhead are sharp and brilliant, scattered across the velvet sky like grains of salt. Somewhere in the distance, a sparrow sings one last note before settling into sleep. Section 7. The Sparrow's Rest. A weary traveler finds clarity by observing a sparrow resting fearlessly on a branch. The air outside feels cooler now, almost silky against your skin. The monk walks ahead of you down a narrow trail, his robes whispering softly with each step. Lantern light has faded behind you, and now only the stars guide your way. Pinpricks of silver scattered across an endless sky. Soon you come to a clearing where an ancient oak tree stands tall, its branches reaching wide like welcoming arms. At the edge of one low-hanging branch, you spot a small sparrow. Its feathers are puffed against the night's chill, and it perches quietly undisturbed, even as the monk approaches. Look closely, the monk says in a hushed tone. Do you see how the sparrow rests? It is not afraid of falling, though it sleeps on the narrow branch. Why? You tilt your head, watching. The bird's tiny claws grip the bark effortlessly, its body perfectly balanced, despite the breeze swaying the branch. The sparrow trusts its own feet, the monk continues. Even in sleep, it knows how to hold on without tension. He crouches and gestures for you to sit beside him on the mossy ground. The air smells faintly of pine and earth, grounding you in the moment. Once the monk begins, there was a traveler who wandered into this very forest after losing his way. Exhausted and unsure where to go, he collapsed beneath this oak. As night fell, he noticed a sparrow above him, resting as calmly as if the world had no troubles. The traveler whispered, "Little bird, how can you rest so easily when you are so small and the world so vast?" Of course, the sparrow didn't answer. But in its silence, the traveler understood the sparrow did not fight the night, nor did it plan for the next dawn. It simply trusted the branch beneath it. The monk smiles gently. Perhaps we too can learn to rest this way. You feel the truth of his words sink into your chest like warm tea. How often have you gripped the day too tightly, fearing what might happen if you let go? What if tonight you could trust the branch beneath you? The bed that holds you, the breath that sustains you, the earth itself carrying your weight without complaint. Zen monks often speak of Shinrin Yoku, or forest, bathing the practice of sitting quietly in nature and letting its peace seep into your body. No striving, No seeking, just receiving. As you sit here in your mind's forest, you notice your own breath again. In, out, a slow, steady rhythm. The sparrow shifts slightly on its branch, fluffing its feathers, then settles once more into stillness. You imagine how light it must feel. No heavy thoughts, no tight muscles, just pure presence. Can you feel that lightness in yourself now? The weight of your body melting into the mattress beneath you. The tension in your hands softening as if you've set down something heavy. Zen masters might ask, what if you stopped gripping so hard? Would the branch still hold you? The monk places a hand gently on your shoulder. You are safe here, he whispers. The night will hold you as surely as it holds the sparrow. A breeze stirs the leaves above. The sound is soft, like the ocean far away, or a lullaby hummed just for you. You close your eyes, and for a moment, you feel as though you are that sparrow, small, yes, but completely at ease. Balanced, trusting. Tomorrow will come, the monk says gently, but tonight there is nothing you must do but rest. He stands, his silhouette framed by the starlight. There is one last place to visit before our journey ends, he says. A place where the wind itself will teach you how to find peace in change. You rise slowly, following him, as the sparrow tucks its head beneath its wing and drifts into sleep. Section 8. The Whispering Wind. Reflections on impermanence and finding stillness amid life's changing currents. The forest thins as you follow the monk, and soon you step into an open meadow. The grass sways gently in the night breeze, rippling like a quiet green ocean under the moonlight. The monk stops at the center of the field and lifts his face to the sky. His robes flutter softly around his ankles. You hear the sound of wind moving through the tall grass, a low, sighing hum, as if the earth itself is breathing. This is the place of the whispering wind, he says. Here, even the air carries teachings for those willing to listen. You close your eyes for a moment, feeling the breeze against your cheeks. It's cool and light, brushing past like a gentle hand. Long ago, the monk begins a student asked his Zen master, "How can I find stillness when life is always changing?" The master said nothing. He simply raised a hand and felt the wind pass through his fingers. "See," the master finally said. "The wind does not resist the mountain, nor does the mountain resist the wind. Both simply exist, flowing together in harmony." The student realized in that moment, peace is not about stopping change. It's about moving with it, like the wind over the grass. You open your eyes and watch the meadow ripple as the breeze passes. Each blade bends and sways, but none break. Zen masters often say that impermanence is not to be feared. It is what allows life to be alive. Perhaps you too have felt the winds of change in your life. A relationship shifting, a chapter closing, a new path beginning. What if you could welcome these changes, like this meadow welcomes the wind? The monk turns to you, his voice low and steady. You do not need to hold on so tightly. Let life move through you. Trust that it will leave you standing, just as it leaves this field swaying but whole. You breathe deeply now, feeling the air fill your chest, then release slowly. And as the wind plays with your hair, you realize you are ready to rest, not just your body, but your mind. The monk smiles faintly as if he's been waiting for this moment all along. Here, he says softly, your journey ends for tonight. He bows to you, his figure fading into the darkness. You have learned from the willow, the river, the sparrow, and the wind. Now let their wisdom hold you as you drift into sleep. The breeze softens. The stars seem to shimmer brighter for a moment, then blur gently as your eyes grow heavier. Story 2. Buddhist Teachings. For Relaxation. Vertical Bar. The Mountain Path. Lessons on Letting Go. Section 1. The Weight of the Stone. A monk teaches a traveler how to release burdens through a simple parable. Hey guys, tonight we're going to explore some timeless Zen stories that have helped people find peace and relaxation for centuries. If your mind's been racing all day, these tales might gently pull you back to the stillness waiting within. You might picture a winding mountain path beneath your feet, the cool breeze against your skin, and the sound of distant wind chimes echoing in the valleys. In our busy lives, it's easy to forget that calm isn't out there. It's already yours to uncover. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And let me know in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is where you are. I love seeing how far this little circle of peace reaches. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You find yourself walking along a quiet path at the base of a mountain. The air smells fresh like damp earth after a gentle rain. A light mist hangs in the valley, curling around mossy rocks and wildflowers in bloom. Each step feels deliberate, as if the earth is reminding you to slow down. Up ahead, you notice a monk seated on a flat stone beside the path. His robes are simple, the color of warm clay, and his face is calm, lined with the softness of years spent in contemplation. As you approach, he opens his eyes and smiles, gesturing for you to join him. "You seem to carry a heavy load," he says gently, noticing the large pack slung across your shoulders. You glance down and realize that the pack feels heavier than you remember. Though you're not sure what's inside, your back aches from its weight. The monk bends and picks up a smooth stone the size of your fist. He hands it to you. "Hold this." You obey, feeling its solid weight in your palm. "Now walk a few steps." You walk forward, the stone in your hand. It's not too heavy at first, but as you take more steps, your arm begins to tire. "Is the stone growing heavier?" the monk asks with a knowing smile. You nod. "Yes, it feels heavier the longer I hold it." He takes the stone back and sets it on the ground. "So it is with your burdens. The longer you carry them, the heavier they feel, even if nothing has changed." You blink, realizing how tightly you've been gripping thoughts and worries all day. "The Buddha taught that clinging fuels suffering," the monk says softly. "Imagine what would happen if you simply set the stone down." You close your eyes for a moment, picturing all the thoughts you've been holding. Mistakes, replayed words, unsaid plans undone. One by one, you imagine setting them down beside you like stones on the forest floor. There's a Zen practice called letting the hands fall open. Monks sit quietly, palms resting on their knees, fingers loose. They say it's a small gesture of surrender, a way to tell the body, "I'm not holding anything right now." What if you tried it too? Could you feel the tension in your fingers melt away, as if they'd been gripping an invisible rope all this time? You open your palms now, resting them gently on your lap. A breeze stirs the leaves above, whispering through the canopy, like nature's own lullaby. Zen masters might ask, the monk says, "What are you carrying that you could put down just for tonight?" You sit quietly, letting the questions settle like mist on the mountain air. For now, there is nothing to fix, nothing to do. Only the soft sound of your breath, in and out, like the wind brushing through pine needles. The monk rises slowly and gestures toward the path. "Come," he says. "There's a river ahead. Perhaps it will show you how to let go even more deeply." You stand and follow, noticing that your shoulders feel lighter already, as if setting down the stone has made space for something softer to grow. The mountain path winds ahead, inviting you forward into the next part of your journey. Section 2. Crossing the river. Two monks carry a woman across a stream and learn about attachment. The path curves gently upward, and you follow the monk through a grove of slender trees. Their leaves rustle softly in the breeze, creating a sound like 1,000 tiny bells. The air grows cooler as you near a river, its low murmur reaching your ears before you see it. The monk stops at the riverbank. The water moves steadily, clear and shallow in some places, deeper and swirling in others. A wooden bridge crosses over to the far side, but it looks old and fragile. Sometimes, the monk says, we must cross life's rivers without a bridge. He turns to you and smiles faintly. Let me tell you a story about two monks and a river. Long ago, in a quiet countryside, two monks, Taro and Kenji, were traveling together. They had taken vows to avoid unnecessary contact with others, especially with women, as their tradition dictated. At one point, their journey brought them to a wide river. The water ran swiftly and the stones were slick with moss. On the bank, they encountered a young woman dressed in fine silk, clearly unprepared for the crossing. She stood nervously at the edge, clutching her sleeves to avoid getting them wet. "Please," she said softly, "would one of you help me across the current? It's too strong for me alone." Taro immediately stepped forward, lifting the woman onto his back. He carried her carefully across the river, his feet steady against the rocks. On the far bank, he set her down gently and she bowed in gratitude before continuing on her way. Kenji, however, walked in silence beside Taro, his brow furrowed and his thoughts churning. After an hour, unable to contain himself, Kenji finally burst out, "Brother Taro, how could you do such a thing? We vowed to avoid contact with women." Taro looked at him calmly. "Brother, I set her down by the river an hour ago. Why are you still carrying her?" The monk beside you chuckles softly at the story. "You see," he says, "Taro let go of the moment as soon as it passed. Kenji, though, carried it long after. Many of us do the same. We carry thoughts, worries, and old memories far beyond the river. You sit down on a smooth stone by the water's edge. The current swirls around pebbles and reads its sound steady and soothing. Can you feel it? How often have you crossed a river only to keep holding on to what you should have left on the bank?" A comment someone made. A mistake you regret. A fear of what comes next. The Buddha taught that clinging is like holding on to a burning branch, the monk says quietly. It only hurts you. Letting go is the way to coolness. You watch a single leaf float past, carried effortlessly by the current. It doesn't resist. It doesn't sink. The river carries it exactly where it needs to go. Zen monks sometimes practice walking meditation near rivers. They let each step fall in rhythm with the water, reminding themselves, just this step, just this breath. What would happen if you tried the same tonight? Could you imagine your thoughts flowing like this river, coming and going, without needing to be held? The monk crouches and dips his hand into the water. He lifts it slowly, droplets slipping through his fingers. Do you see? You can hold the water tightly, but it only escapes faster. To feel its coolness, you must simply open your hand. You try it now in your own mind, imagining the things you've been holding on to today. What if you let them go, even for a moment? Could you feel lighter? Could you trust the river to carry them away? The monk stands and gestures for you to rise. "Come," he says softly. "There is a place up ahead where travelers learn to walk lighter, not only in body, but in heart." You follow him, leaving the river behind, but its sound lingers in your mind, like a gentle echo reminding you that you too can leave things on the bank. Section 3. The Empty Backpack. A wanderer learns the freedom of traveling light in both body and mind. The river's sound fades as you climb higher into the hills. The path narrows, and the air grows thinner and cooler. With each step, you feel your shoulders loosening, your breath slowing, as if the mountain itself is asking you to move with more care. The monk walks a little ahead, his robe brushing against ferns that line the rocky trail. "There is something important to learn here," he says without turning. "A lesson about the weight we carry not on our backs, but in our hearts." The trail curves, revealing a small wooden hut resting against the slope. Outside, a weary traveler sits hunched over his shoulders, sagging beneath the enormous pack strapped to his back. "Let me tell you his story," the monk says softly. "Long ago, there was a man who set out to climb a mountain. He carried with him a large pack filled with everything he thought he might need, extra clothes tools, keepsakes, even stones he picked up along the way, because they seemed too beautiful to leave behind. At first, the climb felt manageable. But as the path grew steeper, The pack began to pull on his shoulders. His knees ached. His breath grew ragged. He met an old monk descending the mountain, carrying nothing but a small satchel. "Why do you carry so much?" the monk asked gently. "These are all important," the traveler replied. "What if I need them later?" The monk smiled. "What if you don't?" The traveler hesitated. His fingers tightened on the straps of his pack. "Would you rather reach the summit?" the monk asked. "Or sit here forever, too tired to climb higher?" The traveler sighed and began to unpack. One by one, he set items on the ground, the heavy tools, the extra clothes, the stones he had thought too lovely to leave. As the burden lightened, he felt his back straighten and his breath deepen. By the time he stood again, the pack was nearly empty, and for the first time, he felt free. You pause on the trail, imagining the man's hands loosening their grip on the straps. Can you feel it in your own body, the tension in your shoulders, the tightness in your jaw? Could you release it even a little, as if setting down a burden you've carried all day? The Buddha taught, the monk says softly, that craving and attachment weigh us down. If we let go, we can move freely, not because life grows lighter, but because we stop adding to the load. A breeze stirs cool and clean, brushing across your cheeks. You notice the faint scent of pine and wildflowers, as if the mountain is breathing with you. Zen monks sometimes practice fusho, or non-carrying. As they walk, they imagine leaving their worries and fears on the path behind them, trusting that they won't need to pick them up again. What would happen if you tried that now? Could you leave a single thought behind on this mountain trail? A regret, an expectation, a nagging plan, and keep walking lighter. The monk ahead pauses and looks back, his eyes kind. "What do you carry in your backpack tonight?" he asks softly. "What would you take out if you could?" You take a slow breath, imagining your own invisible pack loosening on your shoulders. Maybe you don't need to empty it all at once. Maybe it's enough to set down just one stone tonight. The traveler in the story smiled as he climbed higher, feeling his feet grow lighter with every step. Perhaps you can feel it too, the lightness in your own chest as you move forward with the monk, the weight of the day slipping away behind you. "Come," the monk says gently, "there is something higher still, a place where even your ideas of right and wrong can be set down." You follow your steps softer now, your body swaying gently with the rhythm of the mountain path. The air is so still, you can hear your own heartbeat, steady and calm. Section 4. The Wind and the Flag. A Zen master shares a lesson on letting go of fixed ideas. The air grows thinner as you climb, and each breath feels cool and fresh, carrying the scent of pine and distant rain. The monk walks quietly ahead, his steps unhurried, as if he's walked this path 1,000 times before. Soon you arrive at a small plateau where a tattered silk flag flutters on a wooden pole. The flag dances wildly in the mountain wind, twisting and snapping its colors, faded by sun and rain. The monk pauses and gestures to the flag. This is where many travelers come to ask their questions. It is also where many leave their answers behind. He sits on a flat stone and pats the space beside him. You settle there, listening to the wind rush past your ears. It's strong up here, whipping your clothes gently against your skin. Long ago, the monk begins, 2 students stood in this very place, watching a flag fluttering in the wind. One said, "Look, the flag is moving." The other shook his head. "No, the wind is moving." Their teacher approached and smiled faintly. "Neither the flag nor the wind moves," he said softly. "It is your mind that moves." The students fell silent, their thoughts swirling like the breeze around them. You gaze at the flag now, its fabric trembling and folding on itself. You begin to wonder, is it really moving? Or is it simply responding, yielding to the invisible currents that pass through? The Buddha taught, the monk says, that fixed ideas about ourselves, about others, about the world, are like stiff branches in a storm. They snap under pressure. But a mind that flows like the wind can never break. You think about the ideas you've been holding tightly, the need to be right, to control outcomes, to hold firm to old stories about yourself. Could these be like the flag, twisting endlessly in the wind? Zen monks sometimes practice koan contemplation, sitting quietly with riddles like, does the wind move the flag, or the flag move the wind? Not to find answers, but to loosen the mind's grip on certainty. What would happen if you loosened your own grip now? Could you feel a little more free, even if only for a moment? The monk turns his face to the sky, eyes half closed, as the wind ruffles his robe. Your thoughts, your fears, your stories, they're all like this flag. They flutter, they fold, they twist. But underneath it all, there is a stillness. Can you feel it? You close your eyes, letting the wind sweep past your skin. Beneath the shifting currents of thought, there is something steady, the weight of your body on the stone, the rhythm of your breath, the quiet beating of your heart. Zen masters might ask, if you stopped chasing the flag, what would remain? You feel your shoulders soften, your hands resting lightly in your lap. The air seems to hum around you, alive but not demanding. Let the wind have the flag, the monk whispers. You don't have to hold on to anything right now. As the wind dies down, the flag falls limp against the pole, its motionless fabric strangely beautiful in its stillness. The monk rises slowly and gestures toward a narrow trail leading higher still. There is a place up ahead, he says softly, where a simple cup holds the deepest lesson about letting go. You stand and follow your body, moving with a quiet ease, the sound of the flag still whispering faintly behind you. Section 5. The Cup Already Broken. A teaching on impermanence and why clinging causes suffering. The trail narrows again as you climb the air, growing cooler and thinner. Each breath feels like a quiet pause, a moment for the mountain to remind you, slow down. Let the climb carry you. The monk walks ahead, his robe swaying slightly with each step. His presence feels grounding, like the roots of an ancient tree that doesn't mind how fast or slow you move. After a while, you reach a small ledge where a wooden bench rests beneath a gnarled tree. On the bench sits a delicate clay cup. Its surface is smooth, hand-shaped with faint cracks along the glaze that catch the sunlight. The monk sits beside the cup and gestures for you to join him. Look closely at this cup, he says softly. It has a lesson to offer. You lean in, noticing how the cracks form subtle patterns, almost like veins in a leaf. Despite its fragility, the cup holds together strong enough to carry water strong enough to serve. Once the monk begins, a student visited his teacher and admired a beautiful teacup in the master's room. "What a perfect cup," the student said. "It must be very precious to you." The teacher smiled. "To me, this cup is already broken." The student frowned. "But it isn't broken." "Ah," said the master. "In time it will fall, or it will crack, or it will wear away. Knowing this, I can enjoy it fully now. Every moment I hold it, I treasure it, because I know it isn't mine to keep forever." The monk lifts the clay cup gently in his hands. The sunlight flickers across its cracked surface, making it seem almost alive. "The Buddha taught that everything is impermanent," he says quietly. "Our bodies, our thoughts, even the mountain we sit upon, will one day return to the earth. Clinging only makes the falling harder. But when we accept that the cup is already broken, we can love it more deeply in the moment it's whole." You sit silently, letting the words settle into your chest. You think about the things you've held tightly in your life, relationships, dreams, plans, even regrets. Could you hold them more lightly now, knowing they are not yours to keep forever? A breeze stirs the branches overhead, and the cup trembles faintly in the monk's hands. Zen monks often meditate on impermanence by observing the smallest things, the bloom of a flower, the dance of a candle flame, the fading of their own breath. Each moment is here and gone, beautiful because it doesn't stay. What would happen if you treated this moment in the same way? Could you let it be enough? just as it is without needing to hold on to it. The monk sets the cup down gently on the bench and looks at you. Your heart is like this cup. It's strong and fragile all at once. You don't have to protect it from breaking. You only have to hold it with care and let it go when the time comes. You notice your own hands resting loosely in your lap. Now fingers no longer curled tight. Even your breath feels softer, flowing in and out like a gentle tide. Zen masters might ask, what would happen if you lived as though everything you love was already broken? Could you treasure it more deeply? The monk rises slowly and gestures toward the trail that climbs even higher, disappearing into the mist. There is one more teaching to discover tonight, he says, his voice low and calm. At the top of the next ridge, you will learn how to drop the rope you've been holding inside. You stand feeling lighter somehow. The cup remains on the bench, still whole for now, its quiet lesson staying with you as you walk onward. Section 6. Dropping the rope. A metaphor for releasing internal struggles and finding inner peace. The mist thickens as you climb, wrapping the mountain in a soft, silvery veil. The air is cool against your skin. Each breath slower, now steadier, like the mountain itself is teaching you to breathe. The monk walks ahead in silence, his pace calm and deliberate. The path feels narrower here, and every step makes you more aware of the earth beneath your feet, the way the rocks shift slightly, the way the moss cushions your soles. At last you reach a clearing where a wide, flat stone sits at the edge of a small cliff. From here, the valley below is hidden by fog, but you can hear a faint river far beneath whispering as it flows. The monk motions for you to sit, and as you do, he kneels on the stone. His eyes rest gently on yours, as if he's about to reveal something simple, yet profound. There's a story I want you to hear, he says softly. Once, two students came to a Zen master asking how to end their constant struggles. The master handed them each a thick rope and asked them to tug on it as hard as they could. This rope represents your conflict, the master explained. Pull harder. The students obeyed, straining against each other until their hands burned and their arms ached. Now, said the master, what happens if one of you lets go? One student released his grip. The rope fell limp and the other student tumbled backward. The master smiled. Do you see, the struggle cannot continue unless you keep pulling? The monk beside you lifts his hands as if holding an invisible rope. This is what we do in our minds every day. We tug against our fears, our regrets, our need to control. The harder we pull, the tighter the knot grows. He releases his hands, letting them fall loosely to his lap. But when we let go, the tension dissolves. There is nothing left to fight. You sit quietly, letting his words sink in. Can you feel it? That invisible rope you've been holding today. The one tied to a problem you couldn't fix, a thought you couldn't stop, a feeling you couldn't name. Zen monks often meditate on mu, a practice of emptying the mind, dropping every thought as if it were a rope no longer worth tugging. What would happen if you loosened your own grip now? Could you feel the weight in your chest, ease the strain in your shoulders, melt away? The monk's voice softens further. The Buddha taught that clinging is suffering. To release your grip is not weakness, it is freedom. You close your eyes and imagine holding a rope in your hands. Feel its coarse fibers pressing into your palms, the tension pulling you forward. Then slowly imagine letting your fingers uncurl the rope, slipping through and falling to the ground. There is no sound, no crash, only stillness. The monk's voice drifts through the quiet. You don't have to pull anymore. You don't have to win or lose. You can simply rest. A breeze passes over the clearing, cool and light, carrying the faint scent of cedar. You open your eyes and notice how the fog has begun to lift slightly, revealing a glimpse of the valley below. Zen masters might ask, what if peace was never about winning the tug of war, but about dropping the rope? You feel your breath slow. Each inhale, softer, each exhale longer, as if your body has been waiting for this release. The monk rises and gestures gently to the final stretch of the path. "There is one last place to visit," he says, his voice quiet but steady. "At the mountain's summit, the clouds will teach you how to drift freely. You stand your body lighter, now your hands empty your steps unhurried. The rope is gone. The climb feels softer." Section 7. The Cloud's Journey. A reflection on embracing change and trusting the flow of life. The air grows thinner as you near the summit, and each breath feels cool, almost sweet, like the first sip of water after a long walk. The monk's steps remain steady, his figure a calm silhouette against the pale light of dawn beginning to bloom on the horizon. As you climb, the trees grow smaller and sparser until only low shrubs remain. Above you, clouds drift lazily across the sky, their shapes shifting in slow, dreamlike motions. The monk stops at a high ridge where the wind brushes past with a soft sigh. He sits on a flat stone and gazes upward. "This is where the mountain teaches its final lesson," he says gently. You settle beside him, the stone cool beneath you, and look up at the sky. A single cloud floats overhead, its edges wispy and faint, constantly changing form. Once the monk begins, a young monk asked his teacher, "Why do I feel so restless? My thoughts never stop moving." The teacher pointed to a cloud and said, "Do you see how it drifts? The cloud does not try to stay the same. It does not fight the wind. It moves, it shifts, and still it remains itself." The young monk watched in silence, feeling his own breath rise and fall like the passing currents of air. You watch the clouds above now, their shapes transforming, first a bird, then a mountain, then a soft blur of white. The Buddha taught the monk says softly that life is like this sky. Everything within it, joys, sorrows, thoughts, and fears, comes and goes. We suffer when we try to hold the clouds in place. You think about the times you've tried to keep things from changing, holding on to a good moment, hoping it would last forever, clutching at a painful memory, unwilling to let it soften and fade. What if, like the cloud, you allowed yourself to shift and drift freely? Could you feel lighter? Zen monks often practice unmoored meditation, imagining their minds like an open sky, where thoughts pass like clouds, neither clung to nor pushed away. Can you try it now? Imagine your mind as wide as this mountain sky. Let your thoughts come and go, floating in and out, without judgment. One cloud passes overhead, breaking apart as it drifts. You feel the breeze on your skin, cool and steady, reminding you that even the wind is always in motion. Zen masters might ask, the monk says, "What would happen if you stopped trying to make the sky hold still?" You notice how your breath deepens naturally, how your chest rises and falls like the rhythm of the drifting clouds. The monk places his hands in his lap, his voice lowering to almost a whisper. You are not the clouds. You are the sky itself, vast, steady, and unbroken. For a moment you feel this truth settle into your body. Beneath the shifting shapes of thoughts and emotions, there is a stillness in you, quiet and deep as the sky. The monk stands and gestures to the very top of the mountain where the path ends. "Come," he says softly. "At the summit you will see why the path matters more than the destination." You rise slowly, your movements unhurried, as if time itself has stretched and softened. The clouds above drift on, unconcerned with where they've been or where they'll go. And you walk lighter than before, ready for the final steps. Section 8. The Mountain Path. Reaching the summit and realizing the journey itself was the teaching. The summit is closer now, and the trail has leveled out into a wide, rocky plateau. Each step feels lighter than the last, as though with every breath you've left a little more weight behind on the mountain. The monk stops a few paces ahead and turns to you, his face softened by the pale glow of dawn. The horizon stretches endlessly and clouds swirl below your feet like a vast drifting ocean. "This is the top of the mountain," he says quietly. But the summit holds no treasure, no secret to keep. You stand still, gazing at the endless expanse. The air is thinner here, clean and cool, and you notice how even your thoughts seem to move more slowly, like water settling after a storm. Long ago, the monk begins a young pilgrim climbed a mountain much like this one. He believed that reaching the summit would bring him enlightenment. Every step was filled with effort, straining, striving, clinging to the thought, I must arrive. When he finally reached the top, he found nothing. No temple, no teacher, no grand vision. Just the same sky and wind he had felt all along the way. At first he felt despair, but then he heard a whisper in his heart. There was never anything to reach. The path itself was the teaching, and in that moment he understood each step, each breath, each moment of letting go. That was the enlightenment he had been seeking. You breathe deeply now, the mountain air filling your lungs. A faint warmth spreads through your chest, not from striving, but from a quiet sense of ease. The Buddha taught that the path and the goal are not separate, the monk says softly. When you let go of grasping for some distant peak, you realize you've been walking in peace all along. Zen monks sometimes walk mountain paths barefoot, feeling the earth's texture beneath their feet. They say it reminds them every step is already home. What if you lived like that? What if there was nothing left to chase? Only this breath, this step, this stillness. You close your eyes and feel the breeze wrap gently around you like a soft embrace. Zen masters might ask the monk whispers, what would happen if you stopped climbing altogether and simply stood still? You stand now perfectly still on the mountain's edge. There is no need to go higher, no need to descend yet. For the first time in a long while, you feel complete just as you are. The monk's voice drifts like the wind. You've walked the mountain path. You've set down your burdens, crossed rivers, let go of the rope, watched the clouds pass. Now, let all of that fade too. Let even the journey dissolve. The sky above begins to lighten, streaks of soft gold spreading across the horizon. You watch without grasping, without longing, simply present like the mountain itself. Story 3. Wisdom for Sleep Vertical Bar. The Empty Cup Reflections on Humility and Growth. Section 1. The Empty Cup. A novice learns humility through the metaphor of an overflowing teacup. Hey guys, tonight we're going to explore some timeless Zen stories that have helped people find peace and relaxation for centuries. If your mind's been racing all day, these tales might gently pull you back to the stillness waiting within. Imagine yourself sitting quietly in a simple room, the soft glow of candlelight flickering on the walls, the gentle rustle of leaves outside your window, and the calm rhythm of your own breath. In our busy lives, it's easy to forget that calm isn't out there. It's already yours to uncover. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And please share in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. I love seeing how far our little community of calm has spread. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You sit cross-legged on a soft mat, hands resting lightly in your lap. Before you sits a small teacup, simple in design, but full of meaning. It's filled to the brim with warm tea steam, rising slowly in lazy curls. You watch the steam dance upwards, twisting and twirling in the quiet air. A Zen master once told a story about such a cup. There was a young novice eager to learn everything about Zen. So eager, in fact, that when the master began teaching, the novice kept interrupting with questions and ideas. The master smiled and said, "Let me show you something." He poured tea into the novice's cup, filling it until the tea overflowed, spilling onto the mat. "Why does the tea spill?" the master asked. The novice, puzzled, replied, "Because the cup is full." "Exactly," said the master. "You are like this cup, already full of your own ideas and opinions. How can I show you Zen unless you first empty your cup? You watch the tea spilling slowly over the rim, feeling a quiet invitation to let go of what you think you already know. The Buddha taught that clinging to fixed ideas fuels suffering. Let that sink in for a moment. What if your mind were more like an empty cup, ready to receive, ready to be filled anew with calm and insight? Some monks sit facing a wall for hours, simply watching their thoughts drift by without grasping. It's a practice of opening, of humility. Zen masters might ask, what would happen if you stopped filling your mind with constant chatter and just sat with the quiet? Could you find peace in emptiness? You take a slow breath, feeling your hands relax, your shoulders soften. The steam from the cup swirls gently as if encouraging you to be open and present. The cup waits empty and full all at once, just like your mind can be. Section 2. The Beginner's Mind. Exploring the Zen concept of openness and curiosity in daily life. You sit quietly, feeling the warmth of the teacup in your hands. The steam curls upward, soft and inviting, much like the gentle flow of your breath rising and falling in and out. It reminds you of a concept in Zen called Shoshin, or beginner's mind. This idea invites you to approach life with the openness and curiosity of a beginner, free from preconceived notions or judgments. Imagine for a moment how a child looks at the world for the first time with wide eyes and wonder, taking in every detail as if it were brand new. They don't carry the heavy weight of past experiences or expectations. Everything is fresh, and every moment is an opportunity to learn and grow. There's a story about a great Zen master who was visited by a scholar eager to prove his knowledge. The scholar spoke at length about philosophy, religion, and teachings from many traditions, trying to impress the master. When the scholar paused, the master quietly began to pour tea into his cup. The cup quickly filled and began to overflow, spilling onto the floor. "Stop! The cup is full," the scholar exclaimed. The master smiled gently. "Like this cup, your mind is full of your own opinions and ideas. How can I teach you unless you first empty your cup?" The scholar was humbled. He realized that true learning begins only when you let go of your fixed ideas and open yourself to new possibilities. You take a moment to feel your own mind. How much is full with worries, judgments, or stories about yourself and the world? What if you could empty that cup, even just a little, and allow fresh understanding to flow in? In this space, the Buddha's teaching echoes softly. To see things as they are, one must let go of what they think they know. Clinging to certainty creates boundaries that separate you from the fluid reality of life. Some Zen monks practice zazen sitting meditation not to stop thoughts, but to observe them without attachment, like clouds passing through a clear sky. Zen masters might ask you now, what would it feel like to meet each moment as a beginner with fresh eyes and an open heart? You inhale deeply, feeling your chest rise and fall, and imagine your mind as that empty cup, ready to receive calm insight and peace. Outside, you hear the gentle rustling of leaves, nature's own lullaby, encouraging your mind to rest in openness. The cup in your hands is simple, yet it holds a world of wisdom, a reminder that humility is not weakness, but the gateway to true growth. Section 3. The Falling Leaf. A story of acceptance and growth through nature's cycles. You sit comfortably, the warmth of the tea in your hands, radiating a gentle comfort. Outside your window, a soft breeze stirs the leaves, their rustling like whispered secrets from the trees. You begin to notice the slow, natural cycles around you, the way the leaves fall, the way the seasons change, the way life itself moves in rhythms of growth and release. There's a story about a falling leaf that might help you see the beauty in acceptance. Long ago, a young monk watched a single leaf detach from its branch and drift slowly to the ground. At first, the monk felt sadness, thinking the leaf's journey was an ending. But then he realized the leaf's fall was part of a greater dance, a dance of change that makes way for new life. In Zen, this is a reflection on impermanence, or anicca, the truth that all things are in constant flux. The Buddha taught that suffering arises when we resist this flow, trying to hold on to what cannot be held. You breathe in, feeling a softness in your chest as you imagine the leaf's journey. The wind carries it gently, not as a burden, but as a part of life's unfolding. Some Zen practitioners meditate on the cycles of nature to remind themselves that letting go is natural and necessary. They watch a flower bloom and fade a river, flow a cloud drift, learning to mirror these rhythms in their own hearts. Zen masters might ask, what if your worries and fears were like leaves meant to fall and make space for new growth? Could you welcome change with a quiet heart? You feel your breath deepen, rising and falling like the gentle swell of waves. The present moment feels alive with possibility, an invitation to release what no longer serves and to embrace the unknown with grace. Outside, the world continues its quiet dance, the steady pulse of life carrying you forward, one breath, one moment at a time. Your cup, once overflowing, now feels empty and ready. Ready for new wisdom, new peace, and new growth. Section 4. The Silent Wall. Learning patience by sitting quietly with one's own thoughts. The gentle rustling of leaves outside blends with the soft hum of your breath. You sit quietly, feeling your body settle deeper into the surface beneath you. The world around you seems to pause, a stillness as soft as velvet wrapping gently around your senses. There's a story that speaks to the power of patience, one that comes from the practice of sitting quietly, observing without interruption, the practice of shikantaza, or just sitting. Long ago, a monk dedicated himself to sitting before a blank wall for hours each day, observing the flow of his thoughts without grasping or rejecting. At first, his mind was restless, jumping from one worry to the next like leaves caught in a storm. But over time, something shifted. The storm calmed. The leaves slowed their dance. The monk discovered a quiet space behind the noise, a place where thoughts could arise and pass like clouds in a vast sky, never clinging, never resisting. Zen teaches that this patience is itself a form of wisdom. It is the willingness to be present fully and gently with whatever arises, even discomfort or boredom, without rushing away. You breathe in deeply, noticing the sensations in your body, the rise and fall of your chest, the subtle tension in your shoulders, the gentle pressure of your hands resting in your lap. Imagine sitting now like the monk before his wall. No need to change anything, just being here, breathing, observing. What thoughts drift through your mind? Maybe worries about tomorrow, memories from the day, or even moments of peace. Zen masters might ask, what happens when you simply watch these thoughts without holding on to them? Can you let them float by like leaves on a stream? You feel a soft smile spread within, a gentle acceptance of yourself, exactly as you are. Outside, the breeze whispers through the trees, nature's own lullaby, inviting you to rest. The quiet wall within you holds space for all that is without judgment, without expectation. Your cup, once overflowing with busy thoughts, now rests empty, ready to receive the calm wisdom of patience and presence. Section 5. The Clay Potter's Hands. How Impermanence Shapes Beauty and Transformation. You feel the quiet settling deeper within you like the still waters of a hidden pond. Outside, the gentle rustle of leaves blends with the soft cadence of your breath, creating a rhythm that invites you further into calm. There's a story about a clay potter that speaks of impermanence, the way everything is shaped and reshaped, transformed through time and care. Long ago, a potter worked with a lump of clay, molding it slowly on his wheel. With patient hands, he shaped it into a beautiful vessel, round, smooth, and delicate. But one day the pot slipped from his fingers and shattered on the floor. At first, the potter felt loss and frustration. Yet, as he swept the pieces together, he realized the shards held new possibilities. He could reshape them, mend them, or even create something entirely new. Zen teaches that, like clay, our lives are fragile and changeable. The Buddha's teaching on anicca reminds us that all things arise, exist, and pass away. Suffering often comes when we resist this flow, clinging to forms that cannot last. You breathe in slowly, imagining the potter's hands gently gathering the broken pieces. The possibility of transformation unfolds in your mind, a gentle invitation to see change, not as loss, but as the soil from which new growth springs. Some Zen monks engage in kintsugi, the art of repairing broken pottery with gold lacquer. The cracks become part of the vessel's beauty, symbolizing resilience and the acceptance of imperfection. Zen masters might ask, what if your own cracks, your struggles, your losses were seen as parts of your unique beauty? Could you hold your imperfections with kindness? You feel your breath soften your body, loosening as you imagine the golden seams tracing new patterns through your life. Outside, the light fades slowly as dusk approaches, but within you, a quiet warmth begins to glow. Your cup, once fragile and cracked, now shines softly whole, in its imperfection beautiful in its resilience. Section 6. The open door, embracing change by letting go of fixed expectations. The evening air feels cool and gentle as you sit quietly, the fading light casting long shadows that stretch softly across the room. Your breath flows steady and calm, like a gentle river winding its way through the landscape of your mind. There's a teaching about an open door, symbolizing the way we can welcome change by releasing fixed expectations and opening ourselves to the unknown. A Zen story tells of a traveler who came upon a locked door deep in the mountains. He tried every key he carried, but none would open it. Frustrated, he sat down and waited. As night fell, a soft breeze swept through the valley, rattling the door gently. The traveler realized the door wasn't locked. It was open, but unseen because his mind was closed. Zen teaches that often we are trapped not by external barriers, but by the walls we build inside ourselves. Letting go means stepping through the door we didn't know was open all along. You breathe in and imagine standing before such a door. What if you could release your grip on how things should be and simply step through into what is? Some monks practice mindful openness by noticing sensations, thoughts, and feelings as passing visitors, welcoming them without judgment, then letting them go. Zen masters might ask, what if you stopped resisting the unknown? Could you find peace in the unfolding mystery of life? You feel your hands resting lightly, your heart opening like that door, ready to receive whatever comes next. Outside, the stars begin to twinkle softly, reminding you that even in vast darkness, light finds a way in. Your cup rests empty and ready open to the gentle flow of life's ever-changing tide. Section 7. The mirror's reflection, seeing oneself without judgment or distortion. The night deepens as you sit quietly, the soft glow of moonlight filtering through the window and casting gentle patterns across your hands. Your breath is slow and steady, a soothing rhythm connecting you to this moment of stillness. There's a story about a mirror reflecting without judgment or distortion that holds a lesson about seeing oneself clearly and kindly. A monk once asked his student to bring a mirror. When the student returned, the monk said, "Look into the mirror and tell me what you see." The student replied, "I see my face, my eyes, my mouth, my wrinkles." The monk nodded. "Good. But now look again and see not just your face, but all that you have carried in your heart, your fears, your hopes, your mistakes." The student looked deeper, and though he saw flaws and scars, he also saw resilience and light. Zen teaches that true clarity comes not from perfect self-image, but from compassionate acceptance of all parts of ourselves. You breathe in slowly, feeling this acceptance expand within you. Can you see yourself as the mirror sees you, not as a collection of judgments, but as a whole being worthy of kindness? Some monks meditate in front of mirrors, practicing gentle self-inquiry without criticism, learning to meet themselves with love rather than harshness. Zen masters might ask, what if you treated yourself as a dear friend, seeing with kindness rather than judgment? You feel a soft warmth in your chest, a quiet clarity settling like a calm lake after the storm. Outside, the night breeze stirs softly, whispering secrets of peace and understanding. Your cup remains empty, ready to hold this new light of gentle self-awareness. Section 8. The Quiet Path. Finding peace in simplicity and steady progress. The quiet night surrounds you, the soft hum of the world, fading into a peaceful stillness. Your body feels heavier now, sinking comfortably into the surface beneath you, as if cradled by the earth itself. Each breath moves slower, deeper, as if you are merging gently with the calm night air. There is a story about a quiet path, a simple, unassuming way that leads not to grand temples or towering peaks, but to a place of gentle peace and steady presence. Long ago, a monk walked a winding path through the forest. He carried no maps, no plans, only the willingness to be fully present with each step. Sometimes the path was smooth, other times it was rough and tangled. But the monk walked on, not rushing, not resisting, simply moving with quiet intention. Zen teaches that the path itself is the teaching. There is no destination beyond the next breath, the next moment of openness. You imagine yourself walking that path now, feeling the soft earth beneath your feet, the cool breeze on your skin, the steady rhythm of your steps syncing with your heart. What if your journey through life is just like this? No need to hurry or strain, just being here now, in this moment. Zen masters remind us that peace is found not in arriving, but in walking, not in knowing, but in letting go. As your breath slows, let every worry slip away like leaves floating down a quiet stream. Peace is here, always has been. Your cup, once overflowing and heavy, is now still and empty, ready to receive the calm of the night and the gentle light of morning to come. Feel your hands resting softly, your eyes closing gently, your mind opening to the vastness of stillness. The world outside is quiet, your heart is calm, you are safe, you are whole. And now, as sleep beckons softly, let yourself drift, carried on the quiet path toward rest and renewal. Story 4. The Path to Inner Peace. Vertical bar. Walking in stillness. A guided evening meditation. Section 1. The quiet step. Beginning the meditation with mindful walking and gentle awareness of each movement. Hey guys, tonight we're going to explore some timeless Zen stories that have helped people find peace and relaxation for centuries. If your mind's been racing all day, these tales might gently pull you back to the stillness waiting within. Imagine yourself walking slowly along a quiet path, each step deliberate, soft, connected. The cool evening air brushes your skin gently and you hear the leaves rustling above nature's own lullaby. In our busy lives, it's easy to forget that calm isn't out there. It's already yours to uncover. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And please share in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. I love seeing how far our circle of calm reaches. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You start walking slowly, feet feeling the earth beneath. Each step is a chance to connect, to be present with a simple movement of body and mind. Your heel touches the ground, then your toes. The weight shifts gently forward. The rhythm is soft and steady. Zen masters teach walking meditation, or kin-hin, where each step is an opportunity to bring the mind back to the present moment. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from clinging to past or future. Mindful walking roots you firmly in the now. You notice the way your breath naturally syncs with your steps. Inhale step, exhale step. The breeze brushes your cheek. Your ears catch the distant call of an owl or the soft chirping of crickets. Some monks walk the forest paths for hours, feeling the texture of soil stone and moss beneath their feet. They say this simple practice can calm even the busiest mind. You might ask yourself, what happens if you slow down enough to notice each tiny sensation? Could peace grow in the space between one step and the next? As your feet move, your body softens. The tightness in your shoulders begins to melt. Your jaw unclenches. The world feels quieter, kinder. You walk step after step, letting go of all hurry and worry. The path itself becomes a meditation, a moving prayer. Remember the monk who smiled at the tiger. Like him, you find courage not by rushing, but by walking calmly through whatever life brings. The sky darkens gently, stars beginning to blink softly overhead. The night air carries a promise of rest. You feel gratitude for this simple journey, a path of stillness beneath your feet, a quiet rhythm in your heart. And so, you walk on peaceful and present step by mindful step. Section 2. Breath as anchor. Using the breath to ground attention and soothe the restless mind. You continue your slow, mindful walk under the soft glow of evening stars. Each step feels deliberate, yet effortless, as if your feet have found a natural rhythm tuned to the quiet pulse of the world around you. The ground beneath is cool and slightly uneven, and you notice the subtle shifts in texture from soft earth to scattered pebbles that invite your attention to the present moment. The air is fresh, filled with the gentle scent of pine and damp leaves, a natural fragrance that seems to calm your mind even further. As you walk, you begin to notice your breath more clearly. It flows in and out like the ebb and flow of waves on a quiet shore. You realize your breath is your anchor, always with you, steady and reliable amidst the ebbing currents of thought and emotion. With each inhale, you welcome calm. With each exhale, you release tension. This breath, simple and unassuming, holds the power to ground you deeply in stillness. In Buddhist teachings, the breath is often used as a primary object of meditation because it is immediate present and intimately connected with life itself. The Buddha taught that awareness of the breath can help stabilize the mind and cultivate a serene presence, freeing us from the distraction of restless thoughts. Imagine now how your breath syncs seamlessly with the rhythm of your steps. You breathe in slowly as your right foot touches the ground, and breathe out as your left foot follows. This gentle synchronization becomes a dance, a harmonious union of body breath and movement. You sense how this mindful breathing allows space for your thoughts to soften and drift by, rather than grab hold and pull you away. Some Zen monks spend hours focusing solely on their breath, allowing it to guide their awareness back whenever their minds wander. They find in this simple practice a wellspring of peace, a refuge from the constant chatter that often fills their heads. You might ask yourself, what would it feel like if you could carry this breath awareness beyond your walk? Could you breathe with such calm intention throughout your day and night? As you deepen your breath, you begin to feel a spaciousness within a gentle opening that invites kindness and ease. The tension that might have been held in your shoulders, neck, or jaw begins to dissolve. The pace of your thoughts slows, giving way to a soft quietude. The evening sounds, the distant hoot of an owl, the rustle of leaves stirred by a night breeze, the faint hum of crickets become part of your meditation. They are not distractions, but invitations to relax further into presence. You continue walking aware now, not only of your breath and feet, but of the entire body moving through space. The cool air brushes your skin, the muscles of your legs work with gentle strength, and your senses awaken to the subtle beauty of the night. Zen masters might ask, if your mind is like the breath coming and going, what remains when you stop holding on to any particular thought? You feel the answer in your body, a peaceful stillness that underlies the movement, a steady calm that is always available, even amid activity. As you walk on, this inner stillness grows. The rhythm of breath and step becomes a meditation of gentle balance, a sacred unfolding of each moment. Remember the quiet calm of the evening air, the soothing cadence of your breath, and the steady grounding of your feet on the earth. You are walking in stillness, present, aware, peaceful. Section 3. The body's whisper, tuning into subtle bodily sensations and releasing tension with kindness. The path you follow is quiet now, surrounded by the soft silhouettes of trees against the darkening sky. Your steps are slow and deliberate, each one a small meditation. You notice how your feet connect with the earth. Heel first, then the ball, then your toes pushing gently off to the next step. This simple motion becomes a focus, a way to center your attention wholly in the present. The air around you carries a gentle chill, and the scent of pine and damp earth fills your senses. You feel a cool breeze brushing across your skin, light and refreshing, like nature's own whisper reminding you to relax. In this moment, you become deeply aware of your body, the weight of your limbs, the flow of your breath, the beating of your heart. You realize how often your mind rushes ahead, planning, worrying, replaying moments past, or anticipating those to come. But here on this path, you allow those thoughts to drift by, like clouds, observing them without judgment, without attachment. This practice of deep bodily awareness is an ancient one in Buddhist meditation. Known as body scan, it invites you to tune into each part of your body with gentle curiosity and kindness. By observing sensations without trying to change them, you cultivate presence and learn to release tension held unconsciously. You feel the muscles in your shoulders soften, the tightness in your jaw ease. Your breath deepens naturally, flowing smoothly like a calm river. You notice the gentle rise and fall of your belly with each breath, a soothing rhythm that anchors you more firmly in the here and now. Some monks practice walking meditation by combining movement with this heightened body awareness. They say it brings a grounding stability, a union of mind and body that quiets the restless chatter of everyday life. As you continue walking, you might ask yourself, what sensations am I aware of in my body right now? Where might tension still linger, and can I invite it to soften with each exhale? You take a deep breath in, imagining the air reaching every corner of your body. As you exhale, you release any lingering tightness, allowing your muscles to relax more fully. The night sounds, leaves rustling, distant insects humming, create a gentle soundtrack that blends with your internal calm. Zen masters might say that the body is a temple, a sacred vessel that deserves care and respect. By listening attentively to its signals, you honor its wisdom and cultivate harmony between mind and flesh. You feel a growing sense of gratitude for this body that carries you, supports you, and breathes life through you. This appreciation deepens your connection to the present moment. The path winds gently, inviting you forward without haste. You walk with a quiet ease, fully embodied and aware. Remember this feeling of grounded presence, the peaceful connection between your breath, your body, and the earth beneath your feet. You are walking in stillness, moving meditation in motion. Section 4. Sounds of stillness. Embracing natural and ambient sounds as part of inner calm. The night deepens as you continue walking the path, softly illuminated by moonlight, filtering through the canopy above. Each step you take feels lighter now, your body moving with grace and ease as your mind settles into a calm rhythm. The air is cool, but not cold, carrying the faint scent of wildflowers and earth wrapping around you like a gentle embrace. You begin to notice the sounds surrounding you. The rustle of leaves in the breeze, the distant call of an owl, the soft buzz of insects settling for the night. These natural sounds blend into a soothing symphony, inviting your awareness to expand beyond your body and into the environment around you. There is no rush, no urgency, just the peaceful unfolding of the moment. This openness to the sounds of the present is a form of meditation in itself, a practice known as sound mindfulness. Rather than blocking out noise or judging sounds as distractions, you welcome them fully, allowing each to arise and fade without grasping or pushing away. The sounds become gentle guides, anchoring you deeper into the stillness. You might imagine yourself sitting quietly in a forest, ears attuned to every whisper and rustle. The Buddhist teaching reminds us that everything in life is impermanent. Each sound, each sensation, each thought arises and passes away like waves on a shore. Holding on to them only causes suffering, but letting them flow freely brings peace. Some Zen monks practice listening meditation, where they simply sit and listen deeply, cultivating an awareness that is open and non-judgmental. This practice helps dissolve the boundaries between self and other, fostering a sense of interconnectedness with all things. Zen masters might ask, how does it feel when you stop resisting the sounds around you? And instead, let them wash over you like a gentle rain. Can you find stillness within the flow? Your breath continues to flow steadily, rising and falling like the soft waves of a calm sea. With each inhalation, you draw in fresh energy. With each exhalation, you release tension and worry. You feel a sense of spaciousness opening within you. It's a vast, quiet room where all experiences are welcome, but none are clung to. In this space, peace is not something to attain, but something to be. The path before you stretches on, inviting you to walk gently with mindfulness and acceptance. Remember this moment of harmony between sound, breath, and movement, the way your body and mind soften into stillness. You are walking in stillness, a calm presence moving through the night. Section 5. Mindful thoughts. Observing thoughts without judgment and gently returning to presence. The path before you curves gently, leading you deeper into the night's embrace. Each step you take feels lighter now, more fluid, as though your body and mind are moving in harmony with the soft rhythm of the world around you. The cool air brushes your skin, carrying subtle scents of earth and distant flowers, grounding you more fully in this moment. As you walk, your senses awaken to the sounds of the night, distant crickets chirping in their steady chorus, the occasional rustle of leaves stirred by a gentle breeze, and the faint murmur of water flowing somewhere nearby. Each sound, distinct yet blending seamlessly into the whole, creates a natural symphony that invites your mind to rest from its usual clamor. There is a quiet wisdom in simply listening. Buddhist teachings often emphasize the practice of sound mindfulness, where instead of pushing away or labeling sounds as distractions, you welcome them openly and observe how they arise and fade. This practice reveals an important truth: all phenomena are transient, appearing and dissolving in endless cycles, just like the thoughts and feelings that come and go within you. You pause for a moment, allowing the cool night air to fill your lungs deeply. As you exhale slowly, you sense your body releasing tension, melting into the earth beneath your feet. The quiet sounds around you seem to echo inside, amplifying a sense of spaciousness and calm within. Some Zen monks dedicate themselves to listening meditation, sitting quietly in natural surroundings, and cultivating an open awareness that embraces all sounds without judgment. This practice helps dissolve the illusion of separation between self and other, fostering a profound connection with the world as it is. You might ask yourself, what happens when I stop resisting the sounds and sensations of this moment? Can I allow them to wash over me like a gentle rain, refreshing and renewing without leaving a trace? Your breath flows with steady ease, each inhale drawing in calm, each exhale releasing unrest. You begin to notice the subtle sensations in your body, the softness around your eyes, the relaxed muscles of your jaw, the gentle rise and fall of your chest. These bodily whispers invite you to rest more deeply in stillness. The night sky above is a canvas of stars, twinkling faintly like distant lanterns, hung to guide travelers through the darkness. You imagine yourself walking beneath this vast expanse, feeling both infinitesimally small and deeply connected to the universe's unfolding mystery. The Buddha taught that attachment and clinging are the roots of suffering. When we learn to let go, to accept the impermanence of all things, including our thoughts and emotions, we discover a wellspring of peace that is always available no matter the circumstances. You might recall a Zen saying, "When the winds of change blow, some build walls, others build windmills." Which will you choose tonight? Will you resist and brace against the winds? Or will you open yourself like a windmill, turning gracefully with the breeze? As you continue your mindful walk, you become aware of the subtle interplay between movement and stillness. Your feet touch the ground softly, your body sways slightly with each step, and your mind remains gently alert, observing without clinging. In this way, walking becomes a meditation, a moving awareness that encompasses body breath, sound, and space. You find that peace is not something to chase, but something to embody in each step, in each breath. You think of the story of the monk who smiled at the tiger, a tale of courage born from deep presence and acceptance. Like him, you can face whatever arises with calm and equanimity, grounded in the simple act of being. The path ahead remains softly lit by moonlight, inviting you onward without hurry. Each step carries you further into the quiet sanctuary of the night. Take a moment now to feel gratitude for your body that supports you, for your breath that sustains you, for the earth beneath your feet, and for the vast sky above that holds you in its gentle embrace. As your breath continues its gentle rhythm and your steps carry you forward, remember this: the path to inner peace is not a distant goal, but the unfolding journey of mindful presence here and now. You are walking in stillness, fully awake and deeply at peace. Section 6. Heartful Presence. Cultivating compassion and warmth towards oneself and others. The soft crunch of your footsteps blends seamlessly with the night's quiet symphony. The path winds gently upward, inviting you deeper into the stillness of this evening walk. Each movement feels deliberate, yet effortless, as though your body has remembered a rhythm long forgotten. A rhythm that speaks not only to your feet, but to your breath and heart as well. The air is crisp, carrying a faint aroma of pine and damp earth, subtle and grounding. You breathe in deeply, letting the cool freshness fill your lungs, and then exhale slowly, releasing any remaining tension with the breath. Your muscles soften your shoulders, drop away from your ears, and a calm warmth spreads gently through your chest. As you continue your mindful walk, your awareness expands beyond your body and breath to include the sensations of the environment around you. The slight brush of leaves against your skin, the subtle shifts in temperature as the breeze moves, and the faint, almost imperceptible hum of life settling into night. You realize that all these sensations are interwoven with your own being, connected in a vast web of presence. There is a particular teaching in Buddhism called the non-self, or anatta. It invites you to see that what you consider you, your body, thoughts, emotions, is not a fixed, permanent entity. Instead, you are a dynamic flow of changing sensations, perceptions, and consciousness. Recognizing this impermanence can free you from rigid self-identification and open the door to greater peace. Imagine now how your sense of self shifts, like the evening breeze present, yet intangible, moving through your body and mind, without clinging to form. With each breath, you feel lighter, less bound by the stories and labels that usually occupy your mind. Some Zen monks practice a meditation called sesshin, a retreat of deep concentration where they observe their minds with gentle curiosity, watching thoughts arise and dissolve like waves on the ocean. They learn not to grasp these waves, but to float calmly amidst them. Zen masters often ask, what if your sense of self were like the breeze that touches your skin, felt but not held? How might your experience of peace deepen if you loosened your grip on fixed identities or expectations? You might notice that when you stop resisting who you think you should be, and instead embrace who you are right now, flaws, strengths, doubts, and all, there is a profound relaxation. The tension that comes from struggling to maintain control begins to dissolve. As you walk, each step becomes a prayer of acceptance. Your feet press gently into the earth, grounding you in the present moment. The night sky stretches vast and endless above its stars, a quiet reminder of the vastness within and around you. The Buddha's teachings remind us that suffering arises from attachment to our desires, our fears, our ego. When we loosen these attachments, peace naturally follows. It is not something to be forced or chased, but to be gently uncovered beneath the layers of grasping. You inhale, feeling the cool air fill your lungs, and exhale slowly, releasing anything that no longer serves you. With every breath, you cultivate spaciousness in your mind and heart, a calm, open space where tranquility can reside. The forest seems to breathe with you. The rustling leaves, the distant call of a night bird, the soft murmur of a stream nearby, all become part of your meditation, supporting your walk in stillness. You might wonder, how often do I carry burdens that are not mine? How often do I cling to identities, judgments, or fears that limit my peace? What would it feel like to set those down now, here in this quiet moment? The path curves gently again, leading you onward without urgency. You walk with grace, embodying the teaching of non-attachment, not as loss, but as freedom. The freedom to be fully present without the weight of unnecessary clinging. Your heart feels lighter, your breath more, even your steps more sure. You are walking in stillness, fully awake, deeply connected, and peacefully free. Section 7. Walking with nature. Deepening connection through imagery of natural surroundings and cycles. The night sky above you stretches wide and deep, a vast canopy sprinkled with countless stars that twinkle softly like distant lanterns guiding your path. Each step you take is steady and calm, your feet feeling the texture of the earth beneath a mixture of soft soil, scattered leaves, and occasional small stones. The natural rhythm of your movement brings a profound sense of presence, an invitation to sink deeper into this moment of stillness. Your breath is slow and even rising and falling with gentle grace. You notice the subtle sensations that ripple through your body, the light coolness of the air on your skin, the slight tension in your muscles releasing with each exhale, the comforting weight of your torso as it sways rhythmically with your steps. Each sensation is a thread, weaving you more tightly into the fabric of this serene night. The forest around you is alive, yet hushed, as if nature itself is holding its breath. The rustle of leaves, the distant call of an owl, and the soft murmur of a nearby stream blend into a soothing chorus, grounding you in the present. You realize that in this moment there is no past or future, only the here and now, unfolding gently like the petals of a night-blooming flower. This deep connection with nature is more than just a backdrop. It is a living practice. In Zen and Buddhist traditions, the natural world is often used as a mirror to reflect inner states. The impermanence of leaves falling, clouds drifting, and rivers flowing serves as a powerful reminder of the transient nature of all things. You reflect on the teaching of impermanence, or anicca. Everything in life is constantly changing. Thoughts arise and fade. Emotions swell and subside. Bodies age and transform. When we cling to what is fleeting, suffering ensues. Yet, when we open to the flow of change, peace emerges naturally. You might picture yourself as a cloud drifting across the night sky, shifting shape carried by the wind, unbound by fixed form. This imagery invites a gentle letting go of rigidity and control, embracing the freedom that comes with surrender to life's natural rhythms. Zen monks often meditate on clouds and skies, training their minds to observe thoughts like passing weather, temporary and ever-changing, without attachment or aversion. This practice fosters a spaciousness within a vast openness that can hold any experience with equanimity. You might ask yourself, what if I were like the sky, vast, open, and free to hold whatever arises? Could I find peace not by resisting change, but by flowing with it? As you walk, you feel a deepening stillness settling over your mind and body. The constant chatter of worries and plans quiets, replaced by a spacious calm. You sense the presence of something timeless and steady beneath the surface of all passing thoughts. An inner sky that remains unchanged amidst the shifting clouds. The stars above seem to shine with a gentle encouragement, reminding you that even in the darkest moments, light is always present. You feel yourself anchored by this luminous presence, connected to the vastness beyond and within. Your breath continues its soft ebb and flow, syncing effortlessly with the rhythm of your steps. With every inhale, you draw in peace and clarity. With every exhale, you release tension and resistance. You are walking in stillness, fully awake, fully present, carried gently by the flow of life itself. Section 8. The Endless Path. Embracing impermanence and the ongoing journey of peaceful awareness. The path finally opens up into a quiet clearing bathed in the soft glow of moonlight. You pause, feeling the cool night air brush against your skin, carrying the subtle fragrance of wild herbs and damp earth. Around you, the trees stand tall and still, their silhouettes blending into the darkness like gentle guardians of the night. The stars above twinkle faintly, casting a serene light that seems to seep into every corner of your being. You take a deep breath, filling your lungs with the pure, fresh air, and slowly exhale, letting go of any last traces of tension or distraction. Each breath feels like a wave, gently washing over you, bringing calm and stillness deeper into your body and mind. There's a quiet wisdom in this moment of stillness, a profound simplicity that the Buddha and Zen masters have pointed to across centuries. Peace is not a distant goal or a treasure hidden beyond reach, but the natural state that arises when we open fully to the present moment. As you stand here, you might reflect on the path that brought you to this clearing, the mindful steps, the steady breath, the open ears and heart. Each part of the journey was itself a teaching, a meditation in motion. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from craving and attachment. When we cling to outcomes, resist change, or try to control what is beyond us, we create inner turmoil. But when we practice letting go, when we accept what is with gentle kindness, peace unfolds naturally. You might imagine the night sky as a mirror for your mind. The stars are like fleeting thoughts, twinkling briefly before fading into the vast, dark expanse of awareness. The darkness itself is not empty, but spacious and welcoming, holding everything without judgment. Some Zen monks practice resting in this spacious awareness through shikantaza, just sitting. They cultivate a presence that does not grasp, does not push away, but simply allows all phenomena to come and go like clouds drifting across the sky. Zen masters might ask, What remains when you let go of every thought, every expectation, every worry? What stillness lies beneath the noise of the mind? You sense that stillness now, a deep wellspring of calm and clarity within. It is always there, quietly waiting beneath the surface. The gentle breeze stirs the leaves, and the soft rustling sounds like a lullaby, soothing you into a state of restful awareness. Your breath slows further, becoming smooth and effortless. As your body relaxes completely, your mind softens, and you feel yourself merging with the peaceful night around you. You are walking in stillness, moving in harmony with the quiet rhythm of the universe. Story 5. Zen Stories for Sleep Vertical Bar, The Lantern by the Sea. A Tale of Gentle Guidance, Section 1. The Flickering Light. Beginning with a lantern's glow, guiding a lost traveler through fog and uncertainty. Hey guys, tonight we're going to explore some timeless Zen stories that have helped people find peace and relaxation for centuries. If your mind's been racing all day, these tales might gently pull you back to the stillness waiting within. Imagine yourself standing by the sea where the air is cool and salty, the waves whispering softly against the shore. The sky above is painted with fading hues of twilight, and in your hand you hold a lantern, its light flickering gently, casting warm glimmers onto the damp sand. In our busy lives, it's easy to forget that calm isn't out there. It's already yours to uncover. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And don't forget to share your location and the local time in the comments below. It's always fascinating to see how this peaceful circle stretches across the globe. Now, dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You stand at the edge of the sea, feeling the gentle breeze brushing your face, the soft crunch of sand beneath your feet. The lantern in your hand flickers uncertainly, its light wavering with each breath of wind. You watch the glow dance, knowing this fragile flame is your guide through the coming darkness. There's a story from a quiet fishing village where a young traveler arrived, lost amid a thick fog that rolled in from the sea. The village's old lantern keeper saw him wandering aimlessly and offered him a lantern, small and flickering, yet steadfast in its duty. "Follow this light," the keeper said, "and it will guide you safely home." The traveler hesitated, unsure if such a weak light could pierce the dense fog. But as he took the lantern and followed its glow, he felt a growing sense of calm. Step by step, the path became clearer, the shadows receding until the cozy lights of the village appeared like stars welcoming him back. This simple tale holds a deep teaching. The Buddha taught that our minds are often clouded by confusion and fear, much like a dense fog. But even the smallest light of awareness can guide us back to peace. Some monks carry lanterns during nighttime meditations, symbolic reminders that even in the darkest moments, a gentle inner light can lead the way. This practice is less about brightness and more about presence, steady, patient, and unwavering. Zen masters might ask, what is the flickering light within you right now? How can you nurture that gentle glow when the fog of worries or doubts surrounds you? You breathe deeply, feeling the cool sea air fill your lungs and the lantern's warmth in your hand. Your steps become slow and deliberate, each one guided by the steady pulse of that light within. As you walk along the shore, the waves whisper softly, the rhythmic ebb and flow a lullaby for your restless mind. The night embraces you with its quiet serenity, and you find yourself drawn inward toward a place of gentle guidance and peace. Remember the lantern keeper's simple gift, a reminder that no matter how uncertain the path, a small, steady light is always enough to lead you home. You are walking in stillness, carried gently by the glow of your own inner light. Section 2. The Calm Tide. A story of learning to flow gently with life's changing currents. You follow the shoreline as the lantern's light flickers softly in your hand. The steady rhythm of the waves mingles with your breath, creating a gentle, soothing cadence. The sand beneath your feet is cool and damp, imprinting softly with each step, grounding you ever deeper into this peaceful moment. The air carries the scent of salt and seaweed, fresh and cleansing, inviting you to release tension with every inhale. There's a timeless story about the tide that mirrors this calm movement. It speaks of a fisherman who once struggled against the currents, fighting the relentless push and pull of the sea. Day after day, he rowed his boat furiously, resisting the tide, growing exhausted and frustrated. Then one evening, an elder villager came to him and said, "The sea is not your enemy. It is a partner, a teacher. Flow with it, and you will find your way." So the fisherman learned to relax his grip, to read the waves, to move in harmony with the tide rather than against it. His journey became smoother, his heart lighter, and his trust in the sea deepened. This story reflects a profound Buddhist teaching. Life's currents are inevitable, and resistance often leads to suffering. The Buddha taught about the importance of non-resistance, allowing experiences to arise and pass without grasping or pushing away. Like the tide, emotions, thoughts, and circumstances flow naturally. When you move with this flow, you find ease. Some Zen practitioners practice water meditation, imagining their thoughts and feelings as water fluid, shifting and never fixed. They learn to accept whatever arises, knowing it will eventually move on. Just like the tide receding and returning. You might wonder, how often do I resist the natural flow of my own life? What would happen if I softened and allowed myself to be carried gently by the currents instead of fighting against them? Feel your breath deepen now, matching the slow rise and fall of the waves. With each inhale, you welcome calm. With each exhale, you release any tension or struggle. As you walk, notice the horizon where the sea meets the sky, a seamless blend of blues and grays, vast and open. It reminds you that life, like the ocean, is expansive and unpredictable. Yet within this vastness, there is a rhythm, a gentle pulse that can guide you safely. The lantern's light glows steadily now, no longer flickering uncertainly, but burning with a quiet confidence. This light is not about force or brilliance. It is about gentle guidance, patience, and trust. Zen masters might ask, what if you trusted the rhythm of your life as the fisherman trusted the tide? Could peace emerge from surrender rather than struggle? You feel the gentle breeze brush your cheek, the soft touch like a whisper, encouraging you to let go, to flow with life's natural currents. Your steps continue slow and steady, your heart opening to the quiet wisdom of the sea and the lantern's steady glow. Remember that peace does not come from control, but from gentle acceptance and flowing with the ever-changing tides of experience. You are walking in stillness, guided softly by the light within and the rhythm of the sea. Section 3. The Quiet Harbor. Finding rest and refuge amid life's storms through stillness. The gentle waves continue their timeless rhythm as you walk beside the sea. The lantern's warm glow casting soft light on the path ahead. The night air carries a subtle chill mingled with the saltiness of the ocean and the earthy scent of wet sand. Your feet sink slightly with each step, imprinting momentary marks that the tide will soon erase, reminding you of the impermanence inherent in every moment. Ahead, you notice a small harbor nestled quietly between rugged cliffs. The boats rest peacefully in the calm water, their wooden hulls creaking softly as they sway with the gentle current. The harbor, a haven of safety amidst the vastness of the sea, offers a powerful metaphor for refuge in times of turmoil. There is a story of a weary traveler who sought shelter in such a harbor after a storm tossed his small vessel mercilessly on the open ocean. When he finally reached the calm waters of the harbor, he felt A deep relief, a sanctuary from the chaos. Yet the harbor was not a place to stay forever, only a resting place to regain strength before continuing the journey. This story resonates deeply with Buddhist teachings on finding rest amidst life's storms. The Buddha spoke of santuti, contentment, an inner peace that arises when one finds refuge in the present moment, regardless of external circumstances. The quiet harbor symbolizes that stillness within a place where you can rest, recharge, and find clarity before returning to the flow of life. Zen practitioners often cultivate this refuge through zazen-seated meditation, where the mind learns to settle like a still pond, reflecting without disturbance. Even when life's storms rage outside, this inner stillness remains accessible. You might ask yourself, where is your quiet harbor? What places or practices provide you safe shelter when life feels turbulent? Can you carry that peace within beyond any external refuge? As you breathe deeply, feel your body soften and relax. Imagine the harbor's gentle embrace surrounding you, a sacred space where worries fade and calm deepens. Outside, the rhythmic lapping of water against the boats becomes a soothing chant, inviting your mind to slow and your heart to open. The lantern's light flickers gently, mirroring the steady pulse of your breath. It does not rush or demand, but guides you patiently, a beacon of gentle reassurance. Zen masters might ask, how can you return to this harbor of stillness throughout your daily life, no matter the storms that arise? You feel your steps slow as you linger in this peaceful place, your senses absorbing the tranquil beauty of the harbor and the quiet power of the sea. The path continues beyond the harbor, winding onward into the night, inviting you to walk on with calm presence and gentle awareness. Remember that like the harbor, you can always find rest within, even when life's waves crash around you. You are walking in stillness, held tenderly by the gentle guidance of the lantern and the soothing embrace of the sea. Section 4. The Old Fisherman's Wisdom. A humble lesson on patience and letting go. As you leave the quiet harbor behind, the path takes you closer to the edge of the sea, where cliffs rise steeply, bathed in the silver light of the moon. The sound of the waves grows louder here, a soothing, constant murmur that fills the night air and blends with the steady beat of your footsteps. Each breath you take feels deeper, richer, as if the salt-tinged breeze is filling you with calm and clarity. You notice a figure standing at the cliff's edge. A weathered old fisherman, his eyes fixed on the horizon, where the dark water meets the starry sky. In his hands, he holds a lantern, much like the one you carry, small, flickering, yet unwavering against the night. The fisherman's presence radiates patience and quiet strength, a living symbol of endurance and gentle guidance. There is a tale about such a fisherman who, after decades of navigating unpredictable seas, learned the art of patience, not by forcing the waters, but by respecting their rhythms and trusting their wisdom. He would say, the sea is a teacher. Sometimes she is calm, sometimes wild, but always she is honest. To sail well, you must learn when to hold fast and when to let go. This teaching echoes the Buddha's wisdom on patience and acceptance. Life, like the sea, moves in cycles of calm and storm. Struggling against what is only increases suffering. Patience is not passive resignation, but an active, compassionate engagement with reality as it unfolds. In Zen practice, patience is cultivated through mindfulness and compassionate action. Being present with discomfort or uncertainty without agitation or resistance. This presence creates space for insight and transformation. You might wonder, how do I practice patience in my own life? Where do I find the strength to hold steady amid challenges? What might change if I trusted the natural flow instead of forcing my way? The fisherman's eyes meet yours briefly, and you sense an unspoken invitation to slow down. Breathe deeply and trust the path beneath your feet. His lantern's glow flickers in harmony with your own, a silent reassurance that even the smallest light can hold back the darkness. You breathe in, feeling your body soften, your mind clear. The cool wind brushes your face like a gentle reminder to release tension and cultivate calm. As the waves crash softly below you, listen to their song, a melody of persistence, transformation, and gentle strength. Zen masters might ask, what can patience teach you about yourself? How does waiting rather than rushing reveal the deeper currents of your heart? Your steps become slower, more mindful as you absorb the fisherman's quiet wisdom. The lanterns in your hands glow steadily, illuminating the path ahead with a gentle, unwavering light. You feel the night air wrap around you like a comforting shawl, holding you tenderly as you continue your journey. Remember that patience is a lantern by the sea, small but steadfast, guiding you safely through the darkest nights. You are walking in stillness, carried by gentle guidance and the enduring wisdom of the sea. Section 5. The Sea Glass. Discovering beauty in brokenness and transformation over time. The path from the cliff slopes gently downward toward a stretch of beach where smooth sea glass glimmers faintly under the moonlight. Each piece, once a broken shard of glass tossed by the waves, has been softened and reshaped over time into smooth, translucent jewels that sparkle with quiet beauty. You bend down and pick up a handful, feeling their cool, rounded edges in your palm. There's a story about sea glass that carries a profound lesson about transformation and acceptance. Long ago, a young woman collected shards of broken glass from the shore, feeling drawn to their fractured beauty. She would hold each piece close, marveling at how the once sharp edges had been worn down by the ceaseless motion of the sea, polished by time and patience. Her grandfather told her, "Life is like sea glass. We all begin as rough, sharp fragments. It is the constant flow of experiences, the hardships and joys alike, that shape us into something unique and beautiful. Embrace the process, even the brokenness, for that is where true beauty lies." This metaphor reflects the Buddhist teaching of impermanence and the potential for renewal through suffering and change. The Buddha taught that clinging to fixed ideas of perfection or permanence causes pain. But when we accept the inevitable changes, when we embrace our own brokenness, we open ourselves to growth and deeper understanding. Imagine how the sea, relentless yet gentle, transforms what was once dangerous and jagged into smooth, radiant treasures. So too, your challenges and struggles can become sources of strength and beauty. Some Zen monks meditate on impermanence by observing the natural cycles of the world. The blooming and fading of flowers, the flowing of rivers, the shifting of clouds. They learn to welcome change with equanimity, recognizing that nothing remains the same, and that each moment holds its own preciousness. You might ask yourself, what broken parts of myself have been smoothed by time and experience? How might I see my imperfections not as flaws, but as parts of my unique beauty? Holding the sea glass, you feel a quiet reverence for the journey that brought it here. The cold, smooth stones rest in your hand like tokens of transformation and hope. The lantern in your other hand continues to glow softly, its light reflecting off the shimmering glass, creating a dance of gentle sparks in the night. The waves lap quietly against the shore, their rhythm steady and soothing, a reminder of life's constant motion and renewal. Zen masters might ask, how can you embrace your own process of transformation with patience and compassion? You rise, placing the sea glass carefully back on the sand, and continue walking along the shore, carrying with you the soft glow of the lantern and the wisdom of the sea. Remember that brokenness is not the end, but a beginning, a chance to be reshaped by the gentle hands of time and acceptance. You are walking in stillness, illuminated by gentle guidance and the beauty of transformation. Section 6. The Lantern Keeper's Vigil. watching and waiting with steady presence through darkness. As you walk further along the shoreline, the gentle glow of your lantern illuminates the sand beneath your feet, casting long shadows that flicker like quiet whispers. The night air is cool and bracing, carrying the subtle scent of salt and seaweed mingling with the soft murmur of waves rolling steadily onto the shore. Each breath you take is fresh and cleansing, inviting your body to relax deeper into the rhythm of the moment. Ahead, you notice a small lighthouse perched on a rocky promontory, its beacon spinning slowly, sending out pulses of light across the dark sea. The lighthouse stands firm and steady, its presence, a symbol of guidance, hope, and protection against the unknown dangers of the vast ocean. It reminds you of the inner light each person carries, a lantern within, guiding us through darkness and uncertainty. There's a story told by the lighthouse keepers passed down from generation to generation. It's about a sailor caught in a violent storm, his small boat tossed mercilessly by towering waves. Lost in the tempest, he saw the lighthouse beam cutting through the darkness, a steadfast signal amid chaos. That light became his beacon of hope, drawing him safely to harbor. But the story has another layer. The sailor realized that the lighthouse didn't calm the storm or change the sea. It simply stood steady, shining its light regardless. The power lay not in changing the external world, but in the unwavering presence of that guiding light. This tale reflects a core Buddhist teaching. Peace and guidance arise from within, not from external circumstances. The Buddha taught that true refuge is found by cultivating an inner steadiness and abiding mindfulness that does not waver even when the world is turbulent. Zen practitioners often use the metaphor of the unmoving light to describe the mind's innate clarity and wisdom. Even when thoughts and emotions churn like stormy seas, this light remains constant, quietly illuminating the present moment. You might ask yourself, what is my inner light? How can I nurture it to remain steady through life's storms? As you breathe deeply, you feel a quiet strength building within, a calm presence that neither fears darkness nor seeks to escape it, but embraces it with gentle awareness. The waves continue their soothing rhythm, the lighthouse's beam sweeping across the water like a slow, reassuring heartbeat. Your lantern flickers softly in your hand, a companion to that greater light, smaller yet no less vital. Zen masters might ask, how does steady presence change your experience of uncertainty? Can you learn to be the lighthouse for yourself, shining unwavering through all that arises? You walk with measured steps, now feeling the solid ground beneath your feet and the steady flame within your heart. The night is vast and mysterious, yet you carry your own light, soft, warm, and steady. Remember the lighthouse's quiet vigil, standing firm not by controlling the sea, but by being itself. You are walking in stillness, guided gently by the light within and the eternal pulse of the sea. Section 7. The Returning Wave. Embracing cycles of loss and renewal as part of growth. The shoreline begins to fade behind you as the path curves inland, yet the sound of the sea remains a constant companion, a steady, soothing presence that echoes in your mind and heart. Your lantern's gentle light illuminates the way forward, flickering softly with each breath of wind. Above, the stars continue to twinkle faintly, casting a silver glow over the darkened landscape. You feel a growing sense of calm, a deepening awareness of the cycles that govern life, the ebb and flow, the rise and fall, the endless turning of tides. These rhythms are a reminder that loss and renewal are intertwined, two sides of the same coin that shape the path of growth. There's an ancient Zen story about the returning wave, a metaphor for these natural cycles. A novice once asked his teacher why waves crash against the shore only to retreat again, over and over. The teacher smiled and said, The waves teach us that endings are also beginnings, that what falls away always returns transformed. This teaching echoes the Buddha's insight into impermanence and the potential for continual renewal. The cycles of birth and death, loss and gain, sorrow and joy, all remind us that life is a dynamic process of change. By embracing these cycles, rather than resisting them, we open ourselves to growth and deeper understanding. Imagine how the wave, after retreating, gathers strength and returns anew. Never exactly the same, yet always a continuation of what came before. This flow is like your own life, ever-changing and evolving. Some Zen practitioners meditate on the ocean's rhythms to cultivate acceptance and resilience. They learn to see themselves as part of the vast, ongoing dance of existence, sometimes calm, sometimes turbulent, always moving. Zen masters might ask, how do you respond to life's inevitable losses and endings? Can you see them as invitations to grow, rather than threats to hold back from? As you breathe deeply, you feel the cycle of your own emotions and thoughts rising and falling, coming and going, without resistance or judgment. You notice how your heart softens with each cycle, opening more fully to life's unfolding. Your lantern's light continues to glow steadily, a symbol of hope and gentle guidance through every turning wave. You walk with grace, your steps a quiet testament to the courage of embracing change. The night embraces you, the steady pulse of the sea, a lullaby of renewal and peace. Remember the returning wave, how endings lead to beginnings, and how every moment holds the potential for transformation. You are walking in stillness, moving with the gentle rhythm of life's endless flow. Section 8. The Lantern by the Sea. Realizing that gentle guidance comes from within, illuminating your own path. The path opens once more, revealing a quiet beach where the sea stretches endlessly before you, its surface shimmering under the moonlight like a field of scattered stars. The gentle crashing of waves provides a rhythmic backdrop, a soothing metronome to your slow, deliberate steps. The lantern in your hand flickers softly, its warm glow mingling with the cool, silver light of the night sky. You pause to breathe deeply, the cool ocean air filling your lungs and carrying away the last remnants of tension. The vastness of the sea before you mirrors the boundless space within your own mind, open, still, and infinitely welcoming. There is a story told among Zen practitioners about a lantern by the sea, a symbol of gentle guidance and inner wisdom. It is said that long ago, a traveler lost on a stormy night followed the faint glow of a solitary lantern held by a lighthouse keeper. That light did not illuminate the entire path, but it was enough, steady, patient, and unwavering, to lead him safely to shore. This tale reminds us that in life, we may not always see the whole way ahead, but even a small light, our inner wisdom, can guide us through uncertainty. The Buddha taught that enlightenment is not a sudden blaze, but a gradual awakening, a gentle illumination that unfolds moment by moment. You might imagine your own inner lantern, a quiet light that burns steadily despite the storms of thought and emotion. It does not need to be bright or overpowering. Its power lies in its consistency and gentleness. Zen masters often emphasize the importance of cultivating this inner light through mindfulness and compassion. Some monks keep lanterns lit during evening meditations, symbolizing their commitment to maintaining clarity and kindness in the midst of darkness. You might ask yourself, how can I nurture my own inner lantern? What practices help me keep this gentle light alive during difficult times? As you walk slowly along the beach, the cool water laps softly at your feet, inviting you to release any lingering worries into the vast ocean. With each step, you feel more connected to the present moment and to the enduring light within. The waves whisper a lullaby, and the night sky stretches wide and peaceful above you. Your breath flows evenly, your heart open and calm. Remember that guidance comes not from force or haste, but from steady presence and gentle care. like the lantern by the sea. You are walking in stillness, illuminated by the quiet light of your own wisdom. Story 6. Buddhist Teachings. For relaxation, vertical bar, the sound of the bell. Mindfulness in everyday life. Section 1. The bell's call. Discovering mindfulness through the simple sound of a bell in daily life. Hey guys, tonight we're going to explore some timeless Zen stories that have helped people find peace and relaxation for centuries. If your mind's been racing all day, these tales might gently pull you back to the stillness waiting within. Imagine yourself sitting quietly in a calm room. The soft glow of a candle flickering beside you and the distant sound of a bell ringing. Clear, simple, and inviting your attention to come home. In our busy lives, it's easy to forget that calm isn't out there. It's already yours to uncover. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And please share in the comments where you're watching from and what time it is there. It's always wonderful to know how far this peaceful community stretches. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You sit comfortably, your spine straight, but relaxed hands resting softly on your lap. You hear the faint, clear sound of a bell ringing somewhere nearby. Its tone is pure, neither loud nor harsh, but gentle and penetrating like an invitation to be present. There's an old Zen teaching about the sound of the bell. It's said that when the bell rings, it calls you back to your true self, to this moment, no matter where your mind has wandered. The sound is like a door opening from distraction into awareness. The Buddha taught that suffering comes from clinging to past regrets, future worries, or the endless stream of thoughts. But when you listen deeply to the present moment, like hearing the bell's clear tone, you can let go of those bindings. Some monks practice sitting meditation by ringing a bell at intervals, using its sound as a reminder to return their attention to the here and now. They say the bell is a kind teacher, both gentle and firm, guiding the wandering mind home again and again. Zen masters might ask, what would happen if you allowed the sound of the bell to break through your busyness, even just for a moment? Could you find stillness amidst the noise? You feel your breath deepen as you listen. The bell's tone fades slowly, lingering like a gentle echo inside you. Your mind begins to quiet, your body softens. You hear the rustle of leaves outside, the distant hum of evening insects, and the steady rhythm of your own breath. These sounds, like the bell, invite you to simply be, to rest in awareness without needing to fix or change anything. Remember the monk who smiled at the tiger like him? You can meet whatever comes with calm and presence, guided by the clear, ringing bell within. You sit here now, grounded, peaceful, ready to walk further into mindfulness. Section 2. Moments of stillness. Learning to pause amidst busyness and reconnect with the present. You sit quietly, your breath settling into a steady rhythm as the echo of the bell fades softly into the background. The room feels still yet alive, with subtle sounds, the gentle hum of distant evening life, the whisper of wind moving through leaves, the faint tick of a clock marking time without urgency. Your body feels grounded, each point of contact with the surface beneath you, a gentle reminder of presence. The sound of the bell has opened a door into stillness, but mindfulness invites you further, to pause fully and notice the space between one breath and the next, between one thought and the following one. This space is where true awareness lives, free from the rush of past and future. There's a well-known Zen story about moments of stillness. A master once told his disciples, between each sound of the bell is silence. In that silence lies the essence of peace. The disciples learned to listen deeply, not just to the bell, but to the silence it created. Understanding that mindfulness is less about filling the space with activity and more about resting in what simply is. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the path to liberation. It is the simple act of being fully present, watching sensations, thoughts, and feelings without judgment or attachment. This practice softens the grip of suffering, allowing peace to arise naturally. Some monks cultivate samatha calm, abiding by focusing on stillness itself, resting the mind gently without effort. They learn to welcome silence and pause as friends, rather than emptiness to be feared. You might ask yourself, how often do I give myself permission to pause, to step away from doing? And simply be, what would it feel like to embrace the quiet spaces within daily life? You breathe in, slowly, feeling the stillness deepen inside. Your mind is calm, like a clear pond reflecting the moon. You notice the subtle sensations, the rise and fall of your chest, the gentle flutter of your heartbeat, the warmth of your hands resting lightly. Outside, the evening sounds weave a quiet tapestry, each thread a reminder of life's constant unfolding. The bell's echo lives on in your awareness, a call to return to this moment whenever the mind wanders. Zen masters might ask, what if every pause, every moment of stillness, were a step toward awakening? Could mindfulness become your refuge in the midst of life's busyness? You feel a soft smile bloom within a gentle acceptance of yourself, exactly as you are present, open, alive. You sit in stillness now, ready to carry this mindfulness into the moments that follow. Section 3. Breath as anchor. Using mindful breathing to calm the restless mind. You shift gently, feeling the softness beneath you, the subtle rise and fall of your breath, and the quiet stillness that fills the space around you. The sound of the bell lingers faintly like a thread weaving through your awareness, guiding you back to this moment whenever your mind wanders. There is a practice called breath as anchor, a simple yet profound method that the Buddha himself encouraged. By bringing attention gently to the rhythm of your breathing, you create a stable point amidst the shifting currents of thoughts and emotions. Your breath is always with you, intimate, immediate, and steady. Imagine your breath as a wave flowing in and out, effortless and natural. With each inhale, you draw in calm and clarity. With each exhale, you release tension and distraction. This gentle ebb and flow invites your mind to settle like sediment in still water, revealing the clarity beneath. A Zen story tells of a monk who, troubled by restlessness, was advised by his teacher to focus entirely on his breath. At first, his thoughts surged like a stormy sea. But with patience and dedication, he learned to watch the breath calmly, allowing his mind to become serene and still. The Buddha taught that mindfulness of breathing is the gateway to insight, a practice that brings us into harmony with the present and opens the door to awakening. You might ask yourself, how often do I pause to simply breathe, to let my breath remind me that I am alive? And here can the rhythm of my breath become a refuge when life feels overwhelming. You feel your breath deepen naturally now, a smooth, unforced wave rolling through your body. You notice the slight expansion of your belly as you inhale and the gentle release as you exhale. The breath anchors you to this very moment, steady and sure. Outside, the world continues its quiet unfolding, the rustle of leaves, the distant call of a bird settling for the night, the gentle murmur of the breeze. These sounds blend with your breath, weaving a tapestry of peace. Some monks practice anapanasati, mindfulness of breathing, as a lifelong meditation, returning again and again to this simple focus whenever their minds stray. They say that the breath is a faithful companion, always available to guide one home. Zen masters might ask, what would happen if you let your breath lead you fully into the present? Could you find peace by simply following its natural flow? Your body relaxes further with each breath. Your mind softens, and a calm clarity emerges, like dawn breaking over still waters. You sit now anchored by breath, open to the gentle unfolding of this moment. Section 4. Walking Meditation. Cultivating awareness in the simple act of walking. You rise gently from your seated position and begin to walk slowly, deliberately, your steps soft and measured. Each footfall connects deeply with the earth beneath you, a constant reminder of the present moment and the life flowing through your body. The air around you is crisp and cool, carrying the faint scent of damp earth and blooming flowers. As you walk, your awareness widens to include the sensations of movement, the rhythm of your breathing, and the sounds that drift softly through the air. Walking meditation, or kinhin, is a cherished practice in many Zen traditions. Unlike sitting meditation, it invites the practitioner to bring mindfulness to the simple, everyday act of walking. This transforms a mundane movement into a profound expression of presence. With each step, you plant yourself firmly in the here and now, releasing the pull of past regrets or future worries. The Buddha taught that the root of suffering is clinging and craving desires that bind us to dissatisfaction. Mindful walking teaches us to loosen these chains by grounding us in the ever-changing now. Your steps become prayers of liberation, gentle acts of surrender to life's flow. You might recall the story of a Zen monk who, overwhelmed by his busy mind, was instructed by his master to walk mindfully through the monastery grounds. At first, the monk's thoughts raced, but gradually his attention settled into the feel of the ground beneath his feet and the movement of his legs. The simple act of walking became a sanctuary for his restless mind. As you walk, notice the way your feet lift and fall, heel touching, then rolling forward to the ball and toes. Feel the subtle shifts in balance, the stretch and release in your muscles. Each sensation is rich with detail, inviting you to deepen your awareness. You might ask yourself, how often do I walk without thinking, without being fully present? What would change if every step I took was a meditation, a moment of connection? The sounds of your footsteps mingle with the gentle rustling of leaves and the distant songs of night creatures. These natural rhythms harmonize with your breath and movement, weaving a calming symphony. Zen masters often emphasize the power of such simple attentiveness. They remind us that enlightenment is not found in grand gestures, but in the small, repeated acts of mindful presence, like walking slowly with awareness. You feel a quiet joy rising within a soft smile, curving your lips as you experience the sacredness of this moment. The path ahead is unhurried, open, and inviting. You are walking in stillness, each step a gentle echo of mindfulness in motion. Section 5. Everyday mindfulness. Bringing gentle attention to routine tasks and sensations. Your steps slow as you continue your mindful walk, each footfall a gentle rhythm grounding you further into the present. The cool evening air brushes softly against your skin, carrying with it the subtle scent of damp earth and distant blossoms. Above the canopy filters the moonlight into delicate patterns, casting a serene glow over the path before you. The world feels quiet, alive, with subtle sounds, the rustling of leaves, the distant call of a night bird, the soft murmur of a stream nearby. As you walk, your awareness expands beyond the physical sensations of your feet and breath. You begin to notice the ordinary moments of daily life, the feel of cool water as you wash your hands, the sound of wind chimes swaying in the breeze, the taste of food savored slowly, fully. These simple experiences, often overlooked or rushed through, hold the potential for profound mindfulness. In Buddhist practice, this is known as bringing everyday mindfulness into routine tasks. It is the art of being fully present with whatever you are doing, without judgment or distraction. Whether folding clothes, washing dishes, or walking to the store, each moment becomes an opportunity for awakening. There is a story about a Zen master who instructed his disciples to carry the awareness they cultivated in meditation into every aspect of their lives. One disciple asked, "How can I practice mindfulness when my days are so busy and filled with distractions. The master replied, "Each breath, each movement, each ordinary task is your practice." Mindfulness is not something separate, but woven into the fabric of daily living. The Buddha taught that mindfulness is the foundation of wisdom and compassion. When you attend fully to the present, you see things clearly without the veil of past regrets or future anxieties. This clarity softens your heart and sharpens your insight. You might ask yourself, how often do I rush through daily tasks without noticing what would it feel like to slow down and meet each moment with gentle attention? As you breathe deeply, you imagine carrying this mindful presence into every corner of your life. The taste of tea, the warmth of sunlight on your skin, the smile of a stranger all become invitations to awaken. Some monks practice mindfulness during work, seeing it as meditation in action. They find that even the most mundane tasks can be transformed into acts of reverence and calm. Zen masters might ask, what if you treated each moment, no matter how small, as sacred? How might your experience of life change? You feel a growing peace within a quiet joy in the simplicity of presence. The lantern's light in your hand glows softly, a beacon of gentle guidance. You are walking in stillness, bringing mindfulness into every step, every breath, every action. Section 6. Facing distractions. Embracing distractions with kindness rather than resistance. As your mindful walk continues, you notice how distractions naturally arise. Thoughts about what needs to be done, worries about the future, memories of past events. They come like passing clouds across the clear sky of your awareness, sometimes dense and heavy, sometimes light and wispy. Instead of fighting these distractions, you learn to embrace them with kindness and gentle curiosity. There's a Zen story about a monk who sat quietly in meditation only to find his mind flooded with distractions. Frustrated, he called his teacher and asked, "How can I stop these thoughts from disturbing my peace?" The teacher replied, "Don't try to stop the waves. Learn to surf them." This metaphor reminds us that attempting to suppress or reject distracting thoughts only creates more tension. Instead, by acknowledging their presence without judgment, we allow them to pass naturally, returning our focus to the present moment. This practice of welcoming distractions rather than resisting them is a form of mindfulness that cultivates patience and compassion toward oneself. It teaches that the mind's activity is not the enemy, but part of the human experience to be met with openness. You might ask yourself, how do I react when distractions pull me away from presence? Can I greet them like old friends passing through without clinging or pushing away? Your breath becomes a steady anchor amidst the shifting tides of thought. Each inhale invites calm. Each exhale releases tension. You notice how even the most persistent distractions eventually fade when met with gentle attention. Some Zen monks cultivate this acceptance through noting practice, silently labeling thoughts as thinking or feeling to create space between the observer and the mental activity. This simple technique reduces identification with thoughts and increases clarity. The Buddha's teachings emphasize that suffering arises from attachment and aversion. By learning to relate differently to distractions, neither grabbing nor resisting, you create a sanctuary of equanimity within. You feel a soft smile emerge as you watch your mind with kindness, knowing it will wander, but always has the way back to stillness. Outside, the evening sounds continue their gentle symphony, inviting you to rest deeper into awareness. Zen masters might ask, what if distractions were invitations rather than obstacles? How could your relationship with your mind transform? You walk with gentle ease, your heart open and your mind spacious. You are walking in stillness, welcoming every part of your experience with kindness and presence. Section 7. Compassion in action. Extending mindfulness to oneself and others. through loving kindness. The night has grown deep, and your walk continues under a blanket of stars that seem to twinkle in quiet encouragement. The steady glow of your lantern softly illuminates the path ahead, its light gentle but unwavering. You feel the cool air against your skin and the subtle grounding sensation of the earth beneath your feet. Each step becomes a rhythmic meditation, echoing the steady flow of your breath. As you walk, your heart opens to the practice of compassion, both for yourself and for those around you. Compassion, or karuna, is a cornerstone of Buddhist teaching, reminding us that true peace arises not only from our own calm, but from a genuine care for the well-being of others. There is a story about a Zen master who was asked how to cultivate compassion in daily life. The master responded, "Begin by being kind to yourself. When your heart is gentle toward yourself, it naturally extends outward like ripples in a pond." This simple truth reminds us that self-compassion is the foundation from which all other compassion flows. You might reflect on moments when you've been harsh or impatient with yourself, times when your inner critic drowned out your gentle voice. How would it feel to replace judgment with kindness, to treat yourself with the same tenderness you would offer a dear friend? Mindfulness practice invites you to cultivate this loving kindness intentionally. Some monks practice metta meditation, silently repeating phrases like, "May I be happy. May I be healthy. May I live with ease." Over time, this practice softens the heart and expands the capacity to hold both self and others in compassionate awareness. The Buddha taught that compassion is inseparable from wisdom. When you truly understand the interconnectedness of all beings and the shared experience of suffering, your kindness becomes boundless and transformative. You feel your chest open with warmth as you breathe in this compassionate energy. The lantern's light flickers in your hand, a symbol of the love and care you carry within. Outside, the night air is still, and the distant call of an owl echoes softly, a reminder that kindness and wisdom arise in silence as much as in action. Zen masters might ask, how does compassion change your experience of presence? What shifts when you hold yourself and others with gentle care? You walk now with a heart softened by love and a mind clear with understanding. Each step is an offering of kindness, a quiet act of connection. You are walking in stillness, embodying compassion and mindfulness in every breath and movement. Section 8. The Bell Within. Realizing mindfulness as an inner guide beyond external cues. As your walk nears its gentle close, you find yourself standing at the edge of a quiet bay, the water calm and glassy beneath the moon's silver light. The lantern in your hand glows softly, a beacon of warmth and gentle guidance against the cool night. You take a deep breath, feeling the fullness of the moment settle into your body and mind, inviting you to rest in the stillness you've cultivated. There's a story told among Zen practitioners about the bell within, an inner sound that calls us back to awareness, peace, and clarity whenever we stray into distraction or turmoil. This bell is not a physical object, but a symbol of the innate mindfulness present in each of us. Like the steady ringing that punctuates moments of meditation, the bell within reminds us to return to the here and now, to the simple, unadorned experience of being. The Buddha taught that true mindfulness is a light that shines steadily through the darkest nights of confusion and suffering. It is a presence that does not waver with circumstances, but remains constant and unshakable. This inner bell is that presence, an ever-present guide, illuminating the path through life's complexities. Imagine yourself now, listening deeply to this inner bell. Its tone is clear and pure, reverberating softly through your body and mind. Each ring invites you to release worry, to let go of grasping, and to rest in peaceful awareness. Some Zen monks practice carrying a small bell with them, ringing it at intervals as a reminder to return their attention to mindfulness throughout the day. This simple sound breaks the trance of busyness and brings them gently home to themselves. Zen masters might ask, what if you carried this inner bell always within you? How would your days change if its gentle call guided your thoughts, emotions, and actions? You breathe deeply, feeling the spaciousness and calm that arise when you listen to this inner sound. You realize that mindfulness is not something separate or distant, but your natural state waiting quietly beneath the surface of distraction. The water before you reflects the lantern's glow, and the twinkling stars creating a mirror of the infinite sky above and the peaceful depths below. You feel yourself merging with this vast stillness, a part of the endless dance of presence. As your breath slows, every worry slips away like leaves drifting downstream. The bell within continues to ring softly, a lullaby for your soul. You are walking in stillness, guided by the gentle sound of your own awakening. Story 7. Wisdom for Sleep Vertical Bar. The Garden Gate. Opening to Compassionate Awareness, Section 1. The garden gate opens, beginning with a gentle invitation to step into a peaceful garden of awareness. Hey guys, tonight we're going to explore some timeless Zen stories that have helped people find peace and relaxation for centuries. If your mind's been racing all day, these tales might gently pull you back to the stillness waiting within. Imagine yourself standing before an ancient garden gate, weathered wood warmed by the soft glow of twilight vines creeping slowly along its frame. Beyond the gate lies a sanctuary, a place of calm and compassionate awareness, where worries can gently fade and the heart can open. In our busy lives, it's easy to forget that calm isn't out there. It's already yours to uncover just beyond the threshold of your everyday thoughts. So before you get comfortable, take a moment to like the video and subscribe, but only if you genuinely enjoy what I do here. And please share in the comments your location and local time. It's wonderful to know how far this peaceful journey reaches. Now dim the lights, maybe turn on a fan for that soft background hum, and let's ease into tonight's journey together. You stand before the garden gate, your hand resting lightly on the wooden latch. The air is cool and still carrying the faint scent of jasmine and earth. You breathe in slowly, feeling the softness of the moment settling over you like a gentle shawl. There's an old Zen story about a gatekeeper who watched over a beautiful garden. Each day visitors would come, some hurried, some hesitant. The gatekeeper's role was not to rush them inside, but to invite them gently to allow each person to open the gate in their own time. This story reflects a profound teaching of compassion, that awareness cannot be forced, only welcomed with kindness and patience. The Buddha taught that awakening arises naturally when we create space for it without grasping or pushing. Some monks practice mindful waiting, sitting quietly by temple gates, learning to welcome whatever arises with open hearts and gentle smiles. They remind us that each moment is a doorway, an invitation to presence. Zen masters might ask, what would happen if you approached your own heart like the gatekeeper, offering gentle invitation rather than harsh demand? You breathe deeply again, feeling your body soften, your mind ease. The garden awaits a sanctuary where compassionate awareness can grow. Outside, the world's noise fades to a distant murmur. Within, a quiet promise unfolds that peace and kindness live always, just beyond the gate. You reach forward now, gently opening the gate, stepping inside to a place of stillness and gentle light. You are walking in stillness, welcomed by the garden of compassionate awareness. Section 2. The Path of Compassion. Exploring compassion as a path that softens the heart and calms the mind. As you step through the garden gate, a gentle breeze brushes against your skin, carrying with it the sweet scent of blooming flowers and the fresh earth beneath your feet. The garden unfolds before you, like a living tapestry, paths lined with moss, delicate petals fluttering softly in the air, and the tranquil sound of a distant water fountain weaving its way through the quiet. Walking slowly along the winding paths, you feel the stillness of this place seep into your bones, a soothing balm to any restless energy within. Here, compassion is not just an idea, but a living presence, an open-hearted acceptance of everything just as it is. The path of compassion, or karuna, is a gentle way of being that softens the heart and calms the mind. It invites you to recognize the shared experience of suffering and joy that connects all beings. The Buddha taught that compassion is not a passive feeling, but an active practice, cultivating kindness toward ourselves and others, even amid imperfection and pain. You pause by a small pond, its surface mirror-smooth, reflecting the sky above and the gentle sway of bamboo around it. This quiet pond reminds you of the stillness necessary for compassionate understanding to grow. Just as the pond reflects the world without distortion, so too can your mind learn to see others clearly with openness and empathy. There's a Zen story of a monk who tended a garden pond. When asked about his practice, he said, "I simply keep the water clear and let the fish swim freely." This simple act mirrors the practice of compassion, clearing away judgment and allowing all beings the freedom to be themselves. Some monks practice loving-kindness meditation, silently repeating phrases such as, "May all beings be happy. May all beings be safe. May all beings live with ease." This practice nurtures an expansive heart, softening boundaries and deepening connection. You might ask yourself, how can I cultivate compassion in my own life? What parts of myself and others deserve gentleness and understanding? As you breathe deeply, the garden seems to respond. The flowers bloom a little brighter, the breeze whispers more softly. Your heart swells with a quiet warmth, a feeling of belonging and care. The Buddha also taught that compassion and wisdom go hand in hand. To be truly compassionate, one must see deeply into the nature of suffering and impermanence, allowing kindness to arise naturally. Zen masters might ask, how does compassion transform your experience of presence? Can kindness become the lens through which you view every moment? You continue walking the path, inviting you to move gently forward, carrying the essence of compassionate awareness with each step. You are walking in stillness, opening your heart like the blossoming garden around you. Section 3. The Quiet Pond. Reflecting on stillness and how it nurtures compassionate understanding. The garden path leads you to a quiet pond nestled among willows and flowering shrubs. The surface of the water is glassy and still perfectly reflecting the soft sky above the gentle sway of the trees and the faint flicker of your lantern's glow. You pause here, feeling the serene energy of this space settling deep within you. This quiet pond is more than a tranquil spot. It is a powerful metaphor for stillness and compassionate understanding. In Zen tradition, water often symbolizes the mind when calm and clear. It reflects reality without distortion. When disturbed, it clouds and blurs, obscuring truth. There's an ancient story about a monk who sought peace amid turmoil. He was told to imagine his mind as a pond. When the wind blows, the surface ripples and distorts, but beneath the water remains pure and undisturbed. His task was not to control the wind, but to cultivate the stillness beneath the surface. The Buddha taught that through mindful awareness, we can calm the turbulent waters of the mind and glimpse the unchanging nature beneath the essence of compassionate awareness that is always present beneath every fleeting thought and emotion. You might reflect, how often does your mind feel like a choppy pond, buffeted by worries and distractions? What would it take to find that deeper stillness within? You breathe in deeply, feeling a gentle quiet grow inside as your breath slows and softens. Your thoughts, like leaves floating on the water, drift away naturally without grasping. Some monks practice shikantaza, just sitting a meditation of pure presence without striving. They learn to rest in the spacious silence beneath the surface, allowing awareness itself to bloom. Zen masters might ask, what remains when you let go of effort and simply rest in stillness? How does this open space foster compassion? Around the pond, soft shadows dance as the moon moves behind clouds. The garden seems alive with gentle whispers, inviting your heart to open even wider. You feel the spaciousness of the pond mirrored within yourself, a calm, deep reservoir of kindness and understanding. This stillness allows you to meet yourself and others with greater compassion, recognizing the shared humanity in all. As you continue your mindful walk, you carry this quiet pond within you, a place of refuge and renewal. You are walking in stillness, your heart blossoming like the serene waters of the garden. Section 4. The Blossoming Lotus. Embracing growth and awakening through kindness towards self and others. As you continue your journey through the garden, you notice a delicate lotus blooming gracefully near a quiet stream. Its soft petals unfold slowly, revealing layers of beauty born from the depths of muddy waters below. The contrast between the lotus's purity and its humble origins is striking, a silent reminder of transformation and awakening through compassionate awareness. The lotus is a powerful symbol in Buddhist teachings, representing the potential for enlightenment that exists within everyone, regardless of circumstance. Just as the lotus rises through murky water to bloom in the sunlight, so too can your heart unfold through kindness and patience, even amidst challenges. There's a story of a novice monk who struggled with anger and impatience. His teacher invited him to observe a lotus bloom daily. Over time, the novice saw how the flower's unfolding was gentle and unhurried. This lesson inspired him to approach his own growth with compassion and acceptance. The Buddha taught that growth is a process, not a race. Compassion toward oneself is essential in this unfolding. A gentle acceptance of imperfections and a willingness to nurture change with tenderness. You might wonder, how can I cultivate patience with myself and others? What does it mean to allow my heart to blossom in its own time? As you breathe in the garden's fragrant air, you feel your own heart opening, softening with the quiet grace of the lotus. Each breath becomes a nurturing act, each moment a step toward awakening. Some Zen practitioners incorporate the image of the lotus in meditation, visualizing its beauty and resilience to inspire compassionate growth. Zen masters might ask, what beauty lies beneath your struggles? How can compassionate awareness help you bloom despite life's muddy waters? You continue walking, carrying the lotus's lesson in your heart, a reminder that awakening is gentle, gradual, and deeply rooted in kindness. The garden around you seems to glow with the quiet light of blossoming compassion. You are walking in stillness, your heart unfolding like the lotus in the sun. Section 5. The Gentle Rain. Learning to welcome difficult emotions with openness and care. As you move deeper into the garden, the soft patter of gentle rain begins to fall, dappling the leaves above and creating a soothing rhythm on the earth below. The droplets glisten as they catch the lantern's glow, each one a tiny mirror reflecting the light of the moment. The rain isn't harsh or relentless. It is a tender shower nurturing the soil and washing away dust, inviting renewal and growth. The gentle rain offers a profound teaching about welcoming difficult emotions with openness and care. In Buddhist philosophy, emotions like sadness, fear, or anger are natural parts of the human experience. Rather than pushing them away or becoming overwhelmed, compassion invites you to meet these feelings as you would a passing shower without resistance, allowing them to cleanse and nourish your inner world. There is a Zen story about a monk who, during a sudden rainstorm, refused to seek shelter and instead stood quietly under the falling water. When asked why, he said, "I do not fear the rain. It is part of life's unfolding. To resist it is to resist my own nature. This acceptance, far from passive submission, was a powerful embrace of life's totality. The Buddha taught that suffering arises from aversion and resistance. By welcoming difficult feelings with gentle awareness, you create space for healing and transformation. Compassion is not just for the pleasant moments, but especially for the challenges that test your heart. You might ask yourself, how do I react when difficult emotions arise? Can I learn to open to them without fear or judgment, allowing them to pass like a soft rain? As you breathe in the fresh, rain-kissed air, feel a deepening sense of calm. Your body relaxes, your mind softens, and a warm kindness spreads through your heart. Some Zen practitioners use the image of rain in meditation, visualizing emotions washing through the body, cleansing tension and refreshing the spirit. Zen masters might ask, what healing comes from embracing what you cannot change? How does compassionate acceptance transform your experience of suffering? The garden seems alive with this tender rain, each droplet a blessing for your growth and awakening. You continue walking, feeling the nourishment of compassion soaking gently into your being. You are walking in stillness, embraced by the gentle rain of awareness and kindness. Section 6. The Whispering Leaves. Listening deeply to the subtle messages of mindfulness in daily life. The garden path leads you to a quiet grove where the leaves of ancient trees whisper softly in the breeze. Their gentle rustling is like a hushed conversation, sharing secrets carried across seasons and lifetimes. You pause to listen, feeling the depth of presence in these subtle sounds, the delicate creak of branches, the flutter of leaves, the distant call of a night bird settling in for rest. These whispering leaves invite you to cultivate a deep listening, not only to the world outside, but to the quiet messages within your own heart. Mindfulness in everyday life often reveals itself in these small, almost unnoticed moments when attention softens and expands. In Buddhist teaching, the practice of deep listening is a form of compassionate awareness. It encourages you to be fully present with whatever arises, listening without interruption or judgment. This openness allows understanding to blossom both toward yourself and others. There's a story of a monk who was famous for his deep listening. When visitors came with troubles, he would simply listen without speaking, offering his full attention. His presence alone was healing, teaching that sometimes the greatest compassion is simply to be truly heard. You might wonder, how often do I listen deeply to others, to nature, to myself? What changes when I bring full attention without rushing to respond or fix? Your breath slows as you tune into this practice. Each inhalation invites stillness. Each exhalation releases tension. The subtle sounds around you become a symphony of mindfulness, a gentle rhythm to accompany your awareness. Some Zen monks practice listening meditation, sitting silently and opening their senses to all that arises, welcoming sounds, thoughts, and feelings alike as teachers. Zen masters might ask, what would happen if you treated every sound, every sensation, every thought as a message to be heard with kindness? You feel a quiet smile arise, a sense of connection and acceptance deepening within. The garden's whispering leaves seem to echo this gentle invitation. You continue walking slowly, carrying this deep listening in your heart and mind. You are walking in stillness, attuned to the subtle messages of compassionate awareness. Section 7. The Returning Butterfly. Recognizing cycles of transformation and renewal in our hearts. The garden path winds gently onward, leading you into a sun-dappled clearing where butterflies flutter gracefully from flower to flower. Their delicate wings shimmer with iridescent colors, moving with effortless lightness and grace. You pause to watch one butterfly alight softly on a blooming blossom, its fragile beauty a symbol of transformation and renewal. The returning butterfly is a poignant metaphor in Zen and Buddhist teachings, representing the cycles of change that shape our inner lives. Just as the butterfly emerges from the cocoon, undergoes transformation, and returns seasonally, so too do our hearts and minds undergo continual growth, letting go of old patterns and embracing new possibilities. There is a story about a monk who spent years struggling with fear and doubt. One day, observing a butterfly emerging from its chrysalis, he realized that his own fears were like the cocoon, constricting but necessary for transformation. By embracing his vulnerabilities with compassion, he allowed himself to emerge renewed, free and whole. The Buddha taught that change is the only constant, and awakening comes from embracing impermanence with open-heartedness. Rather than resisting the cycles of loss and renewal, compassion invites you to welcome them as integral to your growth. You might ask yourself, how have I experienced transformation in my own life? What old patterns am I ready to release, and how can I nurture new growth with kindness? Your breath deepens as you contemplate this journey. Each inhale brings fresh possibility. Each exhale releases what no longer serves you. The butterfly's delicate dance reminds you of your own capacity to evolve with gentle patience. Some Zen practitioners meditate on transformation by visualizing the butterfly's flight, cultivating openness to change and the unfolding of their true nature. Zen masters might ask, what does it mean to embrace your own cycles of becoming? How can compassionate awareness guide your transformation? You feel a quiet joy rising within a blossoming sense of freedom and renewal. The garden seems to glow softly around you, alive with possibility. You continue walking in stillness, your heart alight with the returning butterfly's grace. Section 8. Closing the gate, carrying compassionate awareness gently into sleep and beyond. The garden path gently curves and leads you to the gate where your journey began. The night air feels cool and calm, carrying the soft fragrance of blossoms that seem to sigh with the last light of day. The lantern in your hand casts a warm, steady glow that reflects in your eyes, a quiet reminder of the light within that has guided you throughout this journey. As you approach the gate, you notice how the garden feels different now. Not because the place has changed, but because your heart has opened. What once was a distant, serene sanctuary now feels like home. A familiar space within yourself where compassionate awareness lives. There's an ancient Zen teaching about closing the gate not as an end, but as a way of carrying the garden's peace with you. When you close the gate gently behind you, you don't lock away the calm or the compassion, you carry it inside a quiet presence that guides you through every moment. The Buddha taught that true peace is not found in external places, but in the steady cultivation of awareness and kindness within. Each breath, each step, each act of mindfulness is a thread weaving that inner sanctuary more deeply into your life. You might imagine the garden gate as a symbol for your daily mind, the threshold between distraction and presence. Opening it invites you to step into stillness and compassion. Closing it is a gentle reminder to carry that grace with you no matter where life leads. Some Zen monks meditate on the symbolism of gates, seeing them as invitations to awaken and invitations to rest. The garden gate is neither a barrier nor a boundary, but a passage fluid welcoming, always open. Zen masters might ask, how do you carry compassionate awareness into your everyday life? What does it mean to live with the garden gate open in your heart? As your breath softens, the lantern's glow becomes a warm pulse inside you, a steady companion through dark nights and bright days alike. The garden fades behind you, but the peace it brought remains a quiet light illuminating your path. As you prepare for rest, let the gentle teachings of this garden fill your mind and heart. Feel every worry slip away like leaves drifting on a slow stream. Peace is here, always has been, and always will be. You are walking in stillness, carried by the soft light of compassionate awareness. Now, as your breath slows and your body softens, Imagine yourself cradled in the gentle arms of this garden sanctuary. The air is cool and fragrant, the earth beneath you steady and supportive. Every breath invites you deeper into calm. Every exhale releases tension and worry. Remember the garden gate, how it invited you to step into a space of kindness and presence. Know that this sanctuary is always within reach, a quiet refuge in your heart. The Buddha said, "Peace comes from within. Do not seek it without." Feel that truth settle deeply now. Let thoughts drift away like clouds passing over a clear sky. Let worries fall away like leaves floating downstream. Here in this stillness, there is nothing to do but be. As your eyelids grow heavy, carry this peace gently with you into your sleep. The light of compassionate awareness shines quietly within, guiding you through the night. There is nowhere else to go, nothing else to do. Just rest here, embraced by the gentle wisdom of the garden.